TriStar Moving ESPN 1025. The game streaming live on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook Live. Thanks to the offices of Amanda Gentry, live from the Hillside Medical Game Studios. It's Fireball Hot Take Friday, and we've got to skip the introductions. Caroline Fenton's here, Ian Safar's here. I'm doing outstanding. We got to skip it. We're going to get right to the story. I thought I was going to enjoy a regular Fireball Hot Take Friday. We come in, talk some ball, talk some puck. Corey Curtis, Chad Withrow, kind of just
it's a fun little day we have ourselves on a Friday.
And I'm sitting there today, and all of a sudden I see on my phone, Ryan Tannehill has posted a photo. And the photo is, and I will just tell it what it is. It's a picture of Ryan Tannehill on a boat. He owns a boat. Ryan Tannehill on a boat, and he's fishing. And I guess Celsius is an energy drink.
It is.
I guess.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So I think you can get them at anywhere.
Yeah.
But so
They're
it's
pretty
a
popular.
picture of him on his fishing boat with his rod and a Celsius, and it's him on the boat with his sunglasses, and the caption is recharged with a battery at Celsius Official. And Ryan Tannehill wants everybody to know that he's on vacation today, that he's on the boat, that he's recharged, that he's ready to go, as a lot of his other Titan teammates like Kevin Byard and Ben Jones and Caleb Farley and other guys are at the facility at work. And so I want everybody's opinion. We're starting off the show on everybody's opinion today. It's Fireball Hot Take Friday. What was your reaction to the Ryan Tannehill photo today? Of the three of us, who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
All right, lead us off.
My first thought was, really, dude? Like, really? You're not going to show up to the first day. I know it. I understand it's voluntary workouts. You're the quarterback. You're the leader. You're the one who threw away the season last year, not anyone else. Show up to work. Show up and act like you're going to be a leader. If you want everyone to claim that you are this great leader, that you have this great command over the locker room, then go be a leader. Then go command the locker room. Then go show up and show everyone, look, I understand that last season ended early because of me, but I'm ready to show up and I'm ready to get things started this year. And it's not just not showing up, it's putting it in everyone's faces that look at me on my boat in this nice, on the nice water on this beautiful day. I'm feeling recharged. I'm feeling better. Like, no, Ryan, that is such a bad look. And it's one of two things. Either he didn't care. He can't read the room. He doesn't understand that posting that picture is an incredibly bad taste. Or he knows exactly what he's doing. And it's a middle finger to Mike Vrabel for calling him out yesterday. And either way, I don't like it.
Okay. Ian, what was your response to the photo?
I guess when I first saw it, I thought at first it was kind of like a vacation pic. And then I realized it was kind of like an ad pic. So I was like, okay, is this like a pre-scheduled thing? Is this part of some type of campaign that he was supposed to, is this some pre-scheduled day? But optics of it, just considering all that we had talked about this week, the optics were not great. So I tried to give him the benefit of the doubt.
So here's my theory on it. I think the advertisement element of this is the shield. Mm-hmm. That is a protective shield that if anybody calls Ryan Tannehill to the carpet on this, and I got to hope somebody on the Titans is going to do it, and I think it might be his coach. But if he ever gets called to the carpet on this, he can say, well, we had the sponsorship deal with the energy company, and so we had to do that, so that's why we had nothing to do with me sticking my middle finger in the face of my coach, my fans, and everybody who's been on my ass since I threw 3 interceptions against the Bengals. Here's what I think this is. You know what the number one thing that somebody who really cares, somebody really cares about what somebody did or what somebody said. You know what the number one way that somebody cares is when they look at you and they say, I don't care. And that's what that picture was. That picture was, because look, the last Celsius ad that he did was a picture of it in the sand. Like it was just on a beach in the sand. The one before that was on like a box. He was getting ready to work out and was like, Celsius, got my Celsius. It wasn't flashing money in those. This was a I got my money pick. This was a, hey, to everybody out there that has been doubting me or has been questioning me or has wanted Aaron Rodgers or everybody out there who's mad that I didn't show up to voluntary workouts, F you. And I don't think it's an accident that this picture came out the day after Mike Vrabel walked right up to the line of getting in trouble with the union, criticizing the fact that Tannehill and the rest of the guys weren't there. And specifically when asked about Tannehill, Vrabel made it very clear yesterday that, hey, I've communicated with Ryan and he will be here shortly. And it almost felt like Vrabel was saying that in this sense of like, I've already had a stern talking to Ryan. I'm obviously not very happy with Ryan. And we talked about it yesterday. And it wasn't really, to me, it wasn't so much about Tannehill as much as it was about all those guys that didn't show up. Mm-hmm. But the quarterback's quarterback. He was asked specifically about Tannehill. And I think that what we said yesterday, which was, Vrabel's pissed. Well, I mean, we looked at it, Vrabel is pissed. And I think we got that message. I think Tannehill got that message. And I think he's sticking his middle finger square in the face of Vrabel. And I laugh out loud thinking about how much question answering Mike Vrabel has had to do because his quarterback will not stand in front of a camera. He will not talk to the local media.
He'll stand in front of the camera to post for Instagram.
Oh, yeah, he'll do that. But he won't even do like a podcast. He won't do anything. I mean, he's got a guy, who's washing his golf balls every day, and he's not even going on with him. And it's like Ryan Tannehill he just clearly doesn't want to talk about it. So it's Vrabel who's got to talk about it all the time, every time. Vrabel wouldn't have to talk about it if Tannehill was there on Monday. But he wasn't. So Vrabel had to talk about it yesterday. Tannehill didn't talk at all during the offseason, so it was Vrabel who had to talk after the season. It was Vrabel who had to answer the question for Rich Eisen. It was Vrabel who had to talk to Pat McAfee. It was Vrabel who had to speak at the Combine. It was John Robinson that had to tell Ben Arthur, he's our quarterback. I don't know how many times I have to say it. They're the ones that had to deal with the Aaron Rodgers rumors. He doesn't care. None of that mattered to Tannehill. All that mattered was what Vrabel said yesterday. Tannehill is pissed. And this is Tannehill's way. I'm on vacation. I've got my money. I've got my boat. I've got my advertisements. I'm hanging out. I don't need you. That was the message. I'm telling you, this has the potential to be one of the wildest seasons maybe ever. Because none of this matters if the Titans go out there and win a bunch of games. If Tannehill plays great and whatever. But if he doesn't, this city, there's a war brewing between him and the city. And you can tell, he is clearly just turned his back on everybody. It's like he keeps digging a deeper hole. Because the only other thing, you said this perfectly, Caroline, the only other element that I see with this is either Tannehill is furious, and this is like the passive-aggressive 2022 way of putting your middle finger in somebody's face, or he's too stupid to realize that everybody's talking about him, everybody's talking about his lack of leadership for not being there, everybody is sitting there wondering if he's a good leader, and he's too stupid to realize that posting a vacation picture on Instagram and Twitter is going to rub everybody the wrong way. We talk about the guys that have been on this show this week. Chris Sanders, who is the president of the Boohoo Tannehill crew. Although we got to be honest with that. We've got to demote Chris after his comments this week about Tannehill not being
happy
there.
With Ryan Tannehill.
We're going to have to demote Chris from the Boohoo Tannehill because he's pissed at Tannehill.
But that's a good demotion.
Trevor Maddich. Trevor, like every coach, every college program just gets the benefit of the doubt with Trevor.
Trevor is very glass half full with every situation.
Trevor was furious about Tannehill.
I've never heard him stick his flag in a certain place more than he did about Ryan Tannehill. He called it stupid that he didn't show up to voluntary workouts. And that's coming from someone who played in the league.
And then he posts this picture. And it's funny because a lot of times I think a lot of the stuff that gets under people's skin around town has to do with me. I don't think this had anything to do with me. I think this had everything to do with Mike Vrabel. That's what I think. The fans are secondary because I think he hears the chirping on social media, and I think he's heard the chirping since the Bengals game, and I think he's pissed. I think he's mad. I think that he was hurt by probably all the Aaron Rodgers talk, which I'm not sorry for. He was probably hurt by the fact that everybody was blaming him for the loss, and everybody still blames him for the loss. But I think the Vrabel thing sent him over the top. I think that was yesterday where he decided he was going to get back. He was going to show that he didn't care. And how do you show that you don't care? You post a picture. Look at me on my boat, on my ocean. I own the whole ocean. I mean, also, I do have a thought on this, and let's get your thoughts in on it too. 615-737-1025. The Ryan Tannehill. I think this is Tannehill. This is him. This is how he fires back. I'm convinced of it. But I do have a thought that I want to get to, that if I was in somebody else's shoes, I have a pretty good idea of how I'd react to this. And we'll get to that coming up next. 615-737-1025. Your reaction again. Tannehill posting a vacation picture today. No, hey, what are you doing? You're not at workouts. What are you doing, Derrick Henry? Oh, here I am doing pull-ups with 7 bands of me just lifting myself up so I'm ready to go for the football season. Okay, you can't do that at the Titans facility? Okay, all right. What are you doing, Tannehill? I'm on my boat. By the way, I don't remember the last time I had a full day off between this and the Sirius shows and working the weekends, and I'm off Sunday.
Yay. Go enjoy it.
You know what I'm doing Sunday?
Going on the boat?
On the boat, because I don't need to be at work.
You going to post a picture?
Give me 12 weeks off, and then let me take a 13th. 615-737-1025. Your reaction to that, Stillman and Company. It's ESPN 1025 The Game.
Every Wednesday at 5, join us for Jared versus Joe as they debate all of the big topics in sports, presented by Parman Tractor and Equipment and Mayweather Boxing and Fitness on ESPN 1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey, it's Mike from Newton Nissan South. It's springtime, and I'm going on a limb here. I'm just going to say it. You either love Peeps or you're wrong. I hope you've heard our commercials before. My hope is that you have learned that we are a quality company that prides itself on customer service, and that we like to laugh and joke a bit too. We're different than other dealerships. We don't have hidden fees. The price you see on the site is a price you pay in the dealership. We value you as a customer. We're aware that buying a car often has a stigma attached. Our goal is to overcome that bad stigma, not with flashy commercials or unrealistic giveaways, but with an honest, transparent car buying experience. We want you to come back, and we want you to tell your friends. We do that by giving you great customer service. We want to make your car buying experience fast, easy, and mostly online to save you time. That's why we have Newton FastPass. You can work your deal and numbers online and work the deal to fit your budget. Sounds easy, right? Hop to it and visit NewtonNissanSouth.com to start your deal. See website for details. Check the deets, peeps.
Get a great deal on versatile Kubota equipment today, like Kubota BX and L Series compact tractors, part of our under 100 horsepower tractor lineup rated #1 for reliability. Z Series mowers and Sidekick utility vehicles. Stop by your local Kubota dealer today. Bring home the Kubota L2501 tractor for 0 down, 0% APR for up to 60 months, plus save up to $1,100 now through June 30th. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for more details.
Krebs Kubota. Stop in, click, or call. Visit them online at KrebsKubota.com.
There's never been a better time to find out why BetMGM is the king of sportsbooks and my official sportsbook. Hey, it's Chase McCabe. Download the BetMGM app and place a $10 moneyline wager on any NBA playoff game. If either team hits a three-pointer in that game, you'll win $200 in free bets. All you have to do is use the code 1025GAME200 when you make your first bet. Sign up now and discover BetMGM's daily promotions, boosted odds specials, and more. Download the app or go to BetMGM.com. Use that code 1025GAME200 to win $200 if either team hits a three in any NBA playoff game. Just visit betmgm.com for terms and conditions. 21 years of age or older to wager. Tennessee only. New customer offer. All promotions are subject to qualification and eligibility requirements. Rewards issued as non-withdrawable free bets or site credit. Free bets expire 7 days from issuance. For problem gambling support, call the Tennessee Red Line at 800-889-9789.
Middle Tennessee, you can count on an award-winning service team for all your home maintenance and improvement needs. Lee Company, we're A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau and trusted by thousands of homeowners in our community. Our team is ready to assist with all your home maintenance projects, heating and air conditioning, plumbing, electrical, appliance service, and more. Experience the convenience of calling one phone number for all your home maintenance needs. Call Lee Company today at 615-567-1000 or visit leecompany.com.
If you've missed any of today's show, just search Stillman and Company on Apple, Spotify, or your favorite podcast platform.
More important, Mike, for Ryan Tannehill to be here? Basically for both of you, that question. Is he missing anything of real value here, not being here right now?
I've had communications with Ryan. Again, as the head coach, I want every single player here. I would love to see that happen. Had communications with Ryan, and I'm comfortable where those are at, and expect him back here pretty shortly.
That was Vrabel. He said, I've had conversations with Ryan. Then he threw in the disclaimer of we want all the guys to be here, but it's a voluntary workout, so, we can't really feel one way or another. And then said, I am comfortable, not I'm happy. I think there's a big difference between that. And I believe that those comments yesterday, we heard them. We discussed it yesterday. We said Vrabel's pissed when we heard that.
That was a subliminal message to say, Ryan, get back here right now.
I don't think it was that. Because I think those are the messages that he had with Tannehill. Like when he says, I've talked to Ryan, I'm comfortable. Again, he can't tell Tannehill he has to come. Like he can't say, I encourage you to be here. I want you to be here. He can't say
it's
that.
against CBA rules. I understand that.
But he probably, was peppering Ryan pretty hard. So when do you plan on coming? Do you think you should be here for this? Do you think you should be here for that? So Tannehill probably knows that Vrabel's not happy about this. And again, I think Vrabel's bigger issue is the team. His bigger issue is all the other guys that aren't here. So it's not just Tannehill that he's mad at, but he's probably mad at Henry. He's probably mad at Simmons. He's probably mad at he's probably not mad at AJ because that's a contract.
AJ's a different situation.
But he's mad at those guys. And I think it's the collective group of the thing Vrabel always preaches is we treat you how you treat the team. And so he always wants you to treat the team. And when you're not here, what you're saying is the team is not the most important way for me to get better.
But that starts with the quarterback.
Well, right. But again, I think Vrabel doesn't look at it like that. Like in New England, Brady was one of one guy.
That's true.
He's one of the team. And that's why New England was so successful.
But is that how Vrabel views Tannehill?
Yes. That's why New England was so successful, because Brady was one of 53. Even though he was Tom Brady, he was one of 53. And after about 20 years of that, Brady didn't like that anymore. He wanted to be treated like the superstar. I understand. But Ryan Tannehill better act like one of 53 because he's not the superstar. In fact, he kind of stinks. At least right now he stinks. And I think for Vrabel, he looks at it like, I got all these guys that are my leaders that aren't treating the team with respect. And I think that's what has him upset. So then my guess is Tannehill's heard the noise about not being there. I mean, I can't tweet something about Ryan Tannehill without somebody tagging Ryan Tannehill in the tweet that I tweeted. And I don't care, but these guys look at this stuff.
Yeah.
So Vrabel said what he said. Tannehill heard it. Tannehill clearly is upset about it. That's my theory, that this is about Mike Vrabel, and this is about a perceived lack of respect from Tannehill. Tannehill looks at this like, I saved everybody. You guys were 2-4. You guys were going down. Marcus couldn't complete a pass at Denver. I came in here, took you to the AFC Championship game. Then the next year, I had an even better season, and we just couldn't play defense. Then the next year, you bring in a guy who's old and injured, and I can't use him. My other guy gets hurt. My running back gets hurt. My offensive line's a freaking mess, and my coordinator stinks compared to the guy I had before. And everybody wants to blame me.
Well, that's what happens when you're the quarterback.
Right. But again, I'm putting myself in Tannehill's shoes.
I understand it.
That's how Tannehill looks at this. So then Tannehill feels like he is totally disrespected by the fans at the whole season. Because this wasn't just the Bengals game. It was a whole season thing. And it then culminated with the Bengals thing. And then the Bengals game happens, and Tannehill just gets railroaded. He gets railroaded by us. Remember the calls on that Monday after the Bengals game?
Oh, people were pissed.
They want to get rid of him so fast. I mean, they were furious. And they should have been furious. And you know how I feel about Tannehill. I think the guy's reached his ceiling. I think he's an average quarterback, and that your Super Bowl window is non-existent, and he is your guy. And he hears that. And he doesn't say anything. And he lets everybody else defend him. He's got Kevin Byard defending him. He's got the coach. He's got the GM. He's got all these people defending him. And then he hears the coach make that comment yesterday about, I'm comfortable with it. And comfortable is not happy. And he already knows Vrabel's not happy with it because it's obvious Vrabel's not happy with it. And his response is, I don't give a rip. Here I am on my boat. Here I am fishing. Here I am vacationing. And you know what? When it's time for me to go back to work, I'll decide. Not everybody's going to tell me what to do. Not all these ungrateful people that were celebrating me when I had us in the AFC Championship game. All these people, they don't matter. All you guys can screw off. That is what happened. That's what this picture is. And again,
I'm still not totally in that camp. I am leaving room that Tannehill just doesn't read the room.
So then Tannehill can't anticipate anything is what you're saying. That he couldn't anticipate how bad of a look it would be when he didn't take blame for the Bengals loss. That he couldn't anticipate how bad of a look it would be when he didn't talk on locker cleanout day. That he couldn't anticipate how much angst was going to explode by him, the quarterback, not showing up for the beginning of voluntary workouts. And that he can't anticipate how people are going to react to this picture. Even AJ tweeted and then deleted. Even AJ tweeted like,
that was bad timing.
AJ I could read AJ's tweet, that was bad timing to post that picture or whatever. AJ.
Yeah, that was bad timing, LOL. Which is still incredibly cryptic, which just goes along with the entire theme of AJ's social media.
But the way I read that from AJ was like, dude.
Read the room.
And it's coming from AJ.
But I
love AJ because he's a great player. Not the most aware guy in the world.
Well, clearly not over the past couple of days we've learned
from
that.
AJ. So it's either one of two things. And I'm not calling Ryan Tannehill stupid. Let me say this. You know, some of his comments last year about certain things did kind of rub me the wrong way. But that's not what I'm getting at. Where I look at this is either Tannehill is stupid and cannot anticipate. He's been a quarterback in the NFL for 10 years. You understand when you're quarterback, there's a certain way you have to carry yourself. Everything you do matters when you're quarterback. And he knows this. Like, he was supposed to be the next Dan Marino in Miami. And being the next Dan Marino, that's really hard. That's a lot of pressure. He knows how to do this. So either Tannehill is stupid and cannot anticipate anything and how things will look and doesn't understand optics and the importance at that position, which I don't believe, or he wants to stick his middle finger in your face without sticking his middle finger in your face.
But you're saying, he can't anticipate the reaction from not speaking locker cleanout day, not coming to voluntary workouts, posting that picture. Because don't you think the way that people have talked about Ryan Tannehill as teammates, he's a great leader, we love the guy. Don't you think someone that has been lauded that much really does care about this team and really does want this team to do well and would do whatever it takes to show them that he's on board, to show the fans, to show Mike Vrabel, to show the team, I'm here and I'm the leader?
What's your question? Don't
you think someone
would tell him?
No. Don't you think someone who has been touted as this great leader,
right,
could
So what's the response to that? He ain't that great of a leader. Remember when they kept saying,
he just cannot read the room.
Well, then that would make...
And that's bad.
Then he shouldn't be your quarterback. Then you shouldn't give $100 million to somebody over Tom freaking Brady if this guy...
That's a different story.
No, it's really not. You've spent a year with this guy. You know him better than I do. So if you spent a year with him and you're like, this guy is a good guy and he cares and he tries hard and we won with him, but he's not the brightest bulb in the box, then you go get Tom Brady. And if that, see,
but if he's some great leader, then why would he be sticking a middle finger to the team?
Again,
that's a bad leader.
Again, what did we said on Monday? Is Tannehill a bad leader?
He might be, but
well, here
that's
we
not
go.
what everyone else is telling us.
But again, I told you that I talked to somebody who played for the Titans, who's no longer on the Titans. And I asked him about Tannehill, what kind of leader he was. You know, what kind of – and I told you the quarterback he compared him to from a leadership standpoint.
Carson Wentz.
Wasn't Brady.
Notorious bad leader.
Wasn't Andrew Luck. Wasn't Peyton. Wasn't Russell Wilson. Wasn't – I'm trying to think of who this guy's played with without making it obvious. Wasn't those guys. It was Carson Wentz.
Like, everyone knows that Carson Wentz is a bad leader.
So, I don't think Tannehill's stupid. Like, I don't think he's that absent-minded. I don't think that he's – I just don't think that. I mean, like, I'm not saying that Tannehill's a genius. I don't know. I didn't review his SATs. But I just am not willing to believe that Tannehill's is stupid. I can't. I cannot believe this. We see your phones lined up. It's Fireball Hot Take Friday. Those are next. Again, the Tannehill Instagram picture after not getting criticized but not getting, diapered up by the coach yesterday. Tannehill puts his "I'm on vacation" while everybody's at work post. It's very NBA of him. Your thoughts on it. 615-737-1025. Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Hiller is giving away free vacations for you and your family this month. That's right. Those are my guys. With every purchase of a new whole home generator or select new HVAC systems, Hiller is giving you a free week-long vacation. And with every purchase of a new tankless water heater, they're giving you a free weekend vacation, and they're giving you a Visa Rewards card to help pay for your gas to get you there. Choose from over 400 Marriott, Wyndham, Hilton, or Hyatt hotel properties and take advantage of this unbelievable deal while you can, because these deals are only available for a limited time. So make sure you schedule today. Visit happyhiller.com for all the details. As always, happy you will be, or the service is free. That is Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Proud supporters of the Nashville Predators, the Tennessee Volunteers, and the Vanderbilt Commodores. Hiller, call the Happy Face Truck today.
Hey, I'm Ryan Johansson, and this is Smashville.
Back to Johansson, and Johansson tips it in with one hand on the stick.
You're listening to the flagship of the Nashville Predators radio network, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Hi guys, it's Andrew with Hillside Medical Clinic. Is erectile dysfunction damaging your relationship? Are you sick of the pill and all the side effects? Well, welcome to the future. We have a major medical breakthrough. Hillside Medical Clinic uses the most advanced form of wave therapy. Backed by 60 clinical studies, our technology uses pressure waves to repair and open up blood vessels. We've helped countless men get rid of their ED. But what is the true end result? Their relationship, even their lives, improve drastically. If you're ready to regain your love life, call us right now, and not only will the assessment and ultrasound be free, we'll also give you a gift that produces immediate results in the bedroom. It almost never fails. This is worth $550, and it's free to callers right now. 615-576-5000. That's 615-576-5000. Put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and experience what I call the happiness ripple effect. Call Hillside Medical Clinic now, 615-576-5000.
Genesis Diamonds' once-a-year spring extravaganza is here this weekend. 3 days of phenomenal savings store-wide. You save up to 35% off Genesis already guaranteed best prices. Rings, earrings, bracelets, bands, and more. Plus special financing. You can even trade in your old jewelry for some amazing new designs from our world-class designers who flew in just for this. Extra savings on GIA-certified diamonds, too. It's our biggest sale all year. This Friday through Sunday only. And only at Genesis Diamonds. Green Hills and Cool Springs. See store for details.
Hal Gill here for my good friends at Dunkin'. You know I love Dunkin', and I'm wicked happy that Dunks is all over Nashville. A newly remodeled next-gen Dunkin' location is at 1645 West Main Street in Lebanon. Of course, Dunks has the best coffee, but they have new spring items available as well. Try the salted caramel cream cold brew, shamrock macchiato made with Irish cream swirl, and the roasted tomato toast with hummus or avocado. They also have amazing chocolate croissants. So go treat yourself, go get your Dunks.
Do I need Medicare when I turn 65, or can I wait? With more than 70 years of experience helping Tennesseans, Farm Bureau Health Plans can answer all your questions about Medicare.
Part A, B, C, D, it's all alphabet soup to me.
So if you're looking for an affordable way to cover the gaps left by Medicare or protection from the high cost of prescription drugs, you can plan on us to make it easy. Find out more at fbhp.com. Farm Bureau Health Plans. Plan on us.
Sunday. The Cup Series shifts to the 2.5-mile Talladega Superspeedway with the Geico 500. Coverage begins at 1 on Nashville's home for NASCAR.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey Nashville, this is David Poyle. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
With all that going on, with all the conversation about whether or not he should be the quarterback, whether the Titans should draft his replacement in this draft, for him to not be here and be the leader and show his teammates and the fans that he wants to do everything he can to make this the best year ever, to me that is unconscionable, right? It's not a matter of whether or not he will perform more poorly if he doesn't show up for these voluntary OTAs and workouts. That's not what it's about at all.
There you go. That was Trevor Maddich on our show Tuesday. Unconscionable is what Trevor said. I also will say this. You're never going to have 100% of people in anything agree on one thing. But Chris Sanders has criticized Tannehill. Trevor's criticized Tannehill. Derek Mason has criticized Tannehill. That's that's like 35 years of combined experience in the NFL that has sat there. I mean, you got an all-pro. You've got guys that played in the Super Bowl. Trevor's a first-round pick. Been on multiple teams. Those are guys that got it. And all three of them were not happy about Tannehill not being there. And then today, Ryan Tannehill posts a picture on behalf of the energy drink company, and it's him on his boat fishing, and he says he's recharged, which I guess he needed a 13th week of off time to get recharged. The first 12 were not enough. He needed the 13th. So I did promise your phone, 615-737-1025. It is Fireball Hot Take Friday. Our phone lines are driven by WilsonCountyHonda.com. So without further ado, let's go to him. Your reaction to what was really a truly avoidable situation all week by Tannehill. Raymond, kick us off. Thank you for calling. Go ahead, Ray.
Hey, Jared. Hey, I'm so tired of Tannehill and AJ both just being brats. I mean, this week has been terrible for them two. And really, if I'm saying the Jets are going to give me the number 10 pick, I'm probably moving up, saying bye-bye, AJ, and I'm taking the first quarterback off the board if there hadn't been one taken there for us. And then I'm going to draft a receiver with our pick.
That's a really strong take. Thank you for your call, Raymond. It is Fireball Hot Take Friday. I mean, Trevor talked about this. I thought it explained it really well the other day. This is how I feel. AJ and Tannehill are not the same right now.
No.
Those are not the same situations. AJ wants to get paid. And all AJ did, in my opinion, that was bad was take the Tennessee out of his Twitter bio. That's all AJ did. The Deebo Samuel conversation is not AJ's fault, and I'm not going to hold it against him. And if anything, it tells the Titans, kind of the inside huddle of what's going on with where Tory Dandy, what he's telling AJ, so the Titans know that clearly that $20 million per year number is what AJ doesn't like. So just get a fourth year, throw a little bit more money back there on the back end of it. If AJ performs so that you have it, give it to him. If not, cut him. I mean, I don't have a problem with AJ Brown averaging $24 million a season if the fourth year of a 4-year deal is $28 million. If AJ, at that time, if the best receivers are getting $35 million and AJ's still one of the best receivers, I don't have a problem paying AJ $28 million, And if AJ is hurt or AJ is old or AJ's not good enough anymore, then you just cut him. And so I'm fine with that. The Tannehill thing is he didn't show up for work. Then he essentially bragged about not showing up for work. That's what it is. And I don't work in the NFL, and I don't work for the team, so I can say whatever I want. And the reality is, voluntary stuff is voluntary.
Yeah.
But you should be there. especially if you're the quarterback, especially if you're trying to do things the way the Titans are doing them. Tom Brady's documentary series has an episode in which one of the featured speakers in it is Mike Vrabel. The way, if you don't have ESPN Plus, and I think a lot of people out there don't, if you don't have ESPN Plus, you can't watch the Man in the Arena series, which is Tom Brady's show. And in it, Brady has like special guests that help tell a certain part of Brady's story. And in one episode, we played the clips a lot. In particular, Vrabel and Teddy Bruschi were two of the featured speakers, and Vrabel kept talking about how much harder they worked in New England than everybody else worked. And it was about how it wasn't about the fans holding us accountable. It wasn't Belichick holding us accountable. It was us pushing each other to work harder. That everybody had built a culture there where they weeded out the guys and they pushed the guys who didn't really want to be pushed. They pushed them. Just like Michael Jordan said in The Last Dance, I pushed people who didn't want to be pushed. And so what this is the opposite of the culture the Titans are trying to build. That's Tannehill. AJ just wants to get paid. Mm-hmm. There's a difference there. Adam in Portland's up next. Good to hear from you, Adam. Thank you for waiting. Go ahead, Adam.
You sound terrible. What is wrong with you, Jared? Like, it's the equivalent of somebody, you working at a restaurant and it's your day off and somebody calling and you going, hey, are you not going to come with all of us? No, I'm not going to come with all of you. I'm not working right now.
Is it his day off?
If you want the minimum to be 37 pieces of flair, make the minimum 37 pieces of flair. He doesn't have to come. He's stressed out because he's listening to your show and you bang on him every day, man. Let him fish. He doesn't have to be there. Let him fish. I'm actually in his corner on this. Like, y'all all sound crazy.
You know what's wild about
Derek
this?
Mason, even all these pros, man. I'm like,
yes, all the pros. So, Adam, think about this. All the
alone.
pros think one thing and you think the opposite.
He's stressed out, man. Let him fish. If that's what he needs to do to get
I'm
his head
stressed
right,
out,
week
but I still
one,
have
let
to go
him
to
fish.
work.
Let him fish.
No, thank you for calling, Adam. Here's my issue with this. And there are a lot of people that are like, let the man enjoy his vacation. I'm fine with that. I'm not saying that Ryan Tannehill should be fired today because he didn't show up. Ryan Tannehill doesn't show up to training camp when he has to be there, or the mandatory minicamp when he has to be there. Then there are much larger ramifications there. Then the Titans are going to go after signing bonus, and it's going to get real messy and real bad and real everything else. This is work. Like, this is work. And Ryan Tannehill's not there. He doesn't have to be there.
No.
Because it was collectively bargained on his behalf that he doesn't have to be there.
But there are a lot of things that are expected of the leader of whatever that aren't mandatory. And that's what makes you a leader.
Have we heard from any expert? And I totally mean this. Anybody we would consider an expert in this field, like a senior insider or a coach or and coaches don't really count, like the current coaches.
Well, they can't say anything.
Because they can't say anything. But what did we hear from Charlie Weiss, who's not a current coach, but comes from that Vrabel philosophy, that Vrabel system of you can get a lot done here. Rich Gannon said these offseason programs are important. Derek Mason, Chris Sanders, Trevor Maddich. We have not heard one person. Charles Robinson, Yahoo Sports. I don't even know Charles. He's their senior insider. He goes on with Robby and Joe every week because he and Joe used to be roommates in college. And they're buds. And he was shocked that Tannehill wasn't there. I understand the idea of people saying, let the man fish. Let him get out there and enjoy his time off. Has he not had enough?
That's another aspect of it is, like, there's an off season. But the off season is over now. And it is voluntary. Like, he's not going to get fined if he's not going to be there. But I don't really think that's the whole point.
If you do the same amount of work.
It's the principle of it all.
If you do the same amount of work as everybody else, then you'll be like everybody else. If you do less work than everybody else, you'll be less than everybody else. If you do more work than everybody else, chances are, unless you just don't have any talent, you'll be better off than everybody else. And so I don't think Ryan Tannehill should get grace of, well, it's his time off. Yeah, that's why Vrabel's not actively furious at him. But it's not what the Titans are about. And this, I think, speaks much larger. Like, I think there's an issue here that I think might be keeping Vrabel up at night. Like there's something there that we kind of hit on, but we kind of haven't with this voluntary, mandatory, what is, what isn't, that I think is bothering Vrabel. And that is that his team's getting too complacent. That the way things were, and again, everybody always over-dramatizes like their past of, oh, it was 1 degree outside and it was, everybody makes it sound like everything that they've accomplished in their life was just so hard. Mm-hmm. And maybe sometimes it's true. You listen to these Patriot people talk about New England, and it was like hearing just horror stories with championships at the end. But you read about New England and like how hard they work and how much they push each other and everything else, and you watch this Brady documentary and you hear these guys talk. One time, back me up on this. We were talking about this earlier this week. Ryan Johansson said on Robby and Rexrode that this season's the most fun he's ever had in the NHL.
Yeah.
And I laughed. I laughed at it because all I could think about was Floyd telling me how nobody in New England has fun. That there is nobody in Foxborough. The city is miserable. There's nothing to do in Foxborough. It's cold as hell. It's dark. If you've ever lived up there, and you have and I have, it's
depressing.
It's depressing.
The sun sets at 4 o'clock.
It's awful.
It's always cold and everyone is mean.
It's awful. You have the biggest a-hole as a head coach who is demanding everybody be at their best every single day. It is awful. And he told me the winning is the fun. Mm-hmm. Like that's everybody there knows they're not going to have fun, but that the fun comes with the winning. That's it. The winning. And if that's Vrabel's culture, and there's just too many things here that just yell out New England for me to not say that that's what this is, I think it's keeping Vrabel up at night, worried about his team leaders. They're like, I'm good. No need for that. I'm fine. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. We'll continue on your phone, 615-737-1025. And the one thing that I am not going to accept, the one just defense of Tannehill, again, posting his vacation picture while everybody else is at work, the one thing that I will not accept, and your phones, we'll get to those next. Go to theGameNashville.com/deals to check out Nashville's best deals. Right now, there are deals including half off 312 Pizza Company, the Woodhouse Spa, Brooklyn Bowl, plus experience a 60-minute float session from Float Horizon for just $39.50. Check out all of Nashville's best deals now at theGameNashville.com/deals.
Join ESPN 1025 The Game for the Music City Celebrity Golf Tournament. Benefiting Folds of Honor on May 16th at Hermitage Golf Course. Put your team together and come play with the athletes, musicians, and other local celebrities. The Music City Celebrity Golf Tournament. Sign up at theGameNashville.com/golf.
From the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center.
I'm Fox 17 News Code Red meteorologist Dan Guthrie. Sunshine continues this afternoon with temperatures heading up to a high near 85 degrees. The record high for today, 86 degrees.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Floyd Mayweather launched Mayweather Boxing and Fitness when he officially retired as a 50-0 champion. Introducing the first Mayweather Boxing and Fitness location in Nashville. Perfect for all fitness levels. Join a community that will help every person unleash their inner champ. Become a founding member today. Stop by the studio at 2041 Broadway, Suite C, or call 629-206-9092 to join the family exclusive. Pre-opening rates now available. Mayweather Boxing and Fitness, the gold standard in boxing fitness.
The Ainsworth Nashville has been bringing a sophisticated twist to the classic all-American sports bar, restaurant, and private event experience in Midtown since 2018. Our multi-purpose venue consists of a full-scale restaurant, bar and lounge, and event space. Come for the wings, stay for our happy hour, and visit us for brunch on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. We've got the good times to keep you singing all night long. The Ainsworth Nashville. Burgers, cocktails, sports.
Visit the Ainsworth at 206 21st Avenue South in Nashville or online at theainsworth.com.
Finding the right person for the job isn't easy. Just ask someone who hired a lounge singer to be their office receptionist.
Hello, this is Mickey Marquis, and you've reached the office of Doug & Associates. Thank you very much. Catch me Tuesday nights at the Hotel Johnson. Hello?
But if you've got an insurance question, you can always count on your local Geico agent. They can bundle your policies, which could save you hundreds.
Doug and Associates, this is Mickey Market. Hello?
For expert help with all your insurance needs, visit geico.com/local today.
And now it's Geico's Motorcycle Rules of the Road. Avoid biking in the rain and never touch another person's bike.
Hey guys, look at these bikes. So shiny. Whoops. I'm gonna leave a note. Oh gosh, there's more.
And the rule to saving on motorcycle insurance is, in 15 minutes, Geico could save you 15% or more.
Hey Nashville, it's Chase McKay, Program Director of ESPN 1025 The Game, and there's a new way that you can hear Nashville's best sports talk. It's on 106.3 FM. From downtown Nashville to Spring Hill on I-65 and to Murfreesboro on I-24, you now have two choices to hear our great sports talk programming. And, of course, the Nashville Predators. Check out 106.3 now and save it as a preset.
It's the official Bud Light Preds watch party as your Nashville Predators take on the Tampa Bay Lightning this Saturday. The puck drops at 6, but the party starts at 5:30 with all kinds of specials. See you at headquarters Beercade, downtown Nashville on 2nd Avenue. Go Preds!
Meshing journalism.
They are 2 scores behind you. The math says that increases your chances of winning.
With sports fandom.
I stayed up till 1:30 in the morning, just emotionally numb from Titans and Packers.
And sarcasm.
You guys are the worst.
Robby Stanley and Joe Rexrode are Robby and Rexrode. No duh. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10. Brought to you by Little Guys Movers on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
1025 The Game and The Game Nashville.
Clear at this time of year that voluntary is voluntary. How much more at ease are you with guys who aren't here that you know they know what's expected of them when they do show up?
It's the same every year. You know, I'm going to say that every head coach in the National Football League would like to have every single player there just because that's what we like to do. We like coaching players and enjoy doing that. Also very respectful of what they've done, where they're doing it. And hopefully, as we work our way, into these different phases, that we'll get, as many guys that want to come back that want to be here.
There you go. That was Vrabel with the PC answer, but you could tell he wants all those guys there. Now, there is one thing. Today, it's one thing for, on Monday we lost our minds about Tannehill not being there. On Tuesday, A.J. Brown took Tennessee out of his bio. On Wednesday, the A.J. Brown trade stuff continued. On Thursday, John Robinson said he didn't foresee a trade. And today, Ryan Tannehill posts on Instagram and Twitter a picture of him out fishing on his boat while everybody else is at work. The coaches are at work. The players are at work. The general manager's getting ready for the draft. Tannehill's on his boat fishing. What was it Austin Hooper said on Monday? Enjoying time with his family.
And there's nothing wrong with enjoying time with your family.
There is something wrong when you're making $38 million against the salary cap and you blew your team's #1 seed and you've just had 12 weeks off. There is something wrong with that. And everybody needs to understand it. And let me tell you something that's just up my keister. There are, some people in town that just sniff Ryan Tannehill's farts and think that it's perfume.
Disgusting.
I do not understand it. There are people that do not blame Tannehill for the Cincinnati game.
Which, you can be the biggest Ryan Tannehill fan of the whole entire world. I don't care if you have RT17 tattooed on your butt. You have to understand that he was the reason why the Titans lost. I don't know how anyone can argue differently.
There are people that defended Ryan Tannehill not showing up for voluntary workouts. And now there are people defending this. And the one excuse, if you want to say, hey, it's free time, voluntary workouts, I don't care. Fine, whatever, I don't care. But if you are somebody that is defending this by saying, it was Ryan Tannehill's social media team that put that out there. It wasn't Tannehill. It was his team. It was his ad for EnergyDrinkCelsius.com. It wasn't Tannehill. It was his business. It was his. I can't. I have no time for that. Because while I do understand that these guys make agreements and that sometimes they have to do events and they have to do things they don't want, which was the crux of the issue with Tannehill on Monday, is that he didn't want to be there for voluntary workouts and that he doesn't want to be there is the problem. Well, I understand that they have to make posts in order to, make money or whatever it is. Did he have to post on vacation when everybody else was working? And I guarantee you all those guys that post stuff for money that are at the level of Tannehill, how much money can this energy drink company be giving him? He makes $38 million. Like, how much money can they be giving him?
I don't know.
I guarantee you all of these guys have something in those agreements that says, like, if you give us an ad and we don't like it, we're not running it. I can promise you that. Because the last thing you're going to do is you're going to have a guy sign up, and say, okay, yeah, Pepsi, we agree with such and such. And then all of a sudden Pepsi's going to say, hey, we want you to be involved in this social movement. And if that quarterback's like, no, then they're not going to have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
There's all kinds of things that these guys could get out of this from that. Tannehill knew what he was doing. Tannehill did it. And I think Tannehill's doing it to send a message. And I think the message has been sent. And now, the other side of that is I believe the message is intended for Mike Vrabel. I think that's who Tannehill's mad at today. I think he's been mad at the fans. I think he's been mad at the media, probably specifically me. But I think this one's for Vrabel. And I don't know how Vrabel's going to interpret this message. I don't know how Vrabel's going to feel about it. And I mean how Vrabel's going to feel about it privately. Publicly, Vrabel's going to say, I don't care about Instagram, Twitter, I don't know. Even though he's on them, he's going to be, I don't care about this. Or like John Robinson yesterday, I haven't seen that. Yes, you have. Let's go to your text line. 615-737-1025. I hear we got a bunch of texts.
Yes, the text line is spicy today. One texter texts in and says the Titans lost on January 22nd. It's April 22nd. Ryan Tannehill apparently needed a month to recover from each pick thrown. The let the man fish crowd does not understand how hard it is to win in this league, and gaining the slightest of edges with every opportunity with your team is the difference between getting over the hump and staying average.
Here's what I really think is going to be the issue here. I think it's all, when we talk about optics, and to me, that's all about mental, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a lot of mental comfort you can give people by just doing the right thing or saying the right
just
thing.
Being there.
Right. I do wonder, like, this season, with all the pressure Tannehill's going to be under, and it's only getting worse. He's not helping himself at all. But with all the pressure he's under, I really feel like there's a good chance he's going to crack this year. Because the pressure got to him last year. And that he threw 3 interceptions in the Bengals game because he was trying to not throw 3 interceptions in the Bengals game. That's what it was about. Was he went into that game and he didn't want to blow it because he was feeling the heat. Because the heat had been on him all year.
I can't say that.
Oh, yeah. Watch it. Watch his body language.
No, I'm saying this year, that this could be the year that Ryan Tannehill cracks.
Oh, yes.
I can't say that.
I think we are headed for Marcus at Denver, possibly. It'll be the other way.
So.
Look at Brad Johnson. Pull up Brad Johnson's stats. They won the Super Bowl in 2002. And Brad Johnson, I know a lot of people sit there and say, you can win a Super Bowl with Brad Johnson, as if he was some bum. Brad Johnson was a decent NFL starter. Not a great NFL starter, but he was a decent NFL starter for a long time. Kind of like Tannehill. And they win the Super Bowl in Tampa Bay with Brad Johnson as the quarterback. They had 2 good receivers, Keyshawn before he went off the rails, and Keenan McCardell, who was actually better than Keyshawn. They had a good running game with Michael Pittman Sr., and they had a great defense, like an all-time defense. Mm-hmm. And the guy from Oakland went off the rails before the Super Bowl, and Brad Johnson went to the Super Bowl. The next year, Tampa doesn't make the playoffs. I think they went 9-7. The next year, what was Brad Johnson's record as a quarterback? How many games did he play?
Was that they won the Super Bowl in 2002, correct?
Yeah, so this would be 2004.
2003 or 4.
4.
He had 674 yards.
No. How many games?
Oh, games? 4.
How many starts?
4.
Record?
4-0.
Okay. So Brad Johnson got the heat when Tampa Bay didn't go back to the playoffs the year after they won the Super Bowl. Keyshawn had pissed off Gruden. He was out. They trying to move things up. Brad Johnson cracked.
And I understand that could be a possibility. I understand that this happens a lot. I'm not ready to say that on April 22nd.
He cracked in the Bengals game.
Yes, he looked very uncomfortable.
He cracked. What happened was he had all that pressure, and that first interception just sent him right down.
He was so in his head, and you could tell that every throw was incredibly calculated because
then the
he
second
looked
interception,
anxious.
The second interception piled on, And after the second interception, not only did he not trust himself anymore and was nervous and was not handling the pressure very well, the team had no faith in him. So much so, C.J. Uzomah said it before the Super Bowl. He said, we looked at their sideline. They knew that they couldn't give us the ball back. They knew that they were afraid. Yeah, they were afraid of him giving you the ball and you kicking a game-winning field goal, and that's exactly what happened. And so Tannehill's confidence is just towards the bottom, and he can't admit reality, so he just goes away from it. He hasn't spoken a single word about the football season since then. And there is a part of me, and again, I go back to this picture with the boat and to me, that's showing money, right? Here I am on the boat.
Yeah. With a nice little fishing rod.
It's his boat. And I'm on my boat. I got, whatever. I wonder how much of this is, Tannehill, now that his feet are being held to the fire, if Tannehill's looking at this like, we've made $200 million. Like, do we really need to deal with all this? And almost kind of running away from the problem as opposed to addressing the problem, which would go in line with everything that's happened since the 3 interceptions against Cincinnati. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. We'll get back to your phones on this. There is something that really, truly bothers me about the course of the Titans that I want to get to, and I'll do that next. And Corey Curtis will join us later in the next hour as well. Fireball Hot Take Friday. I love Fireball Cinnamon Whiskey. It goes down so smooth, and it tastes so great. There's no better way to enjoy ice-cold Fireball Cinnamon Whiskey than by doing it with your buddies. If you've got wedding season, which is right around the corner, boat season, which some people are already enjoying apparently, but boat season is coming around here. It's just the summer. We're right here. The draft is upcoming. It's spring, summer. It's great. Fireball whiskey goes down so smooth and it tastes so great. Tonight, please do it responsibly and be 21 years or older to enjoy. That's Fireball Cinnamon Whiskey.
Take us wherever you may go.
There are 2 guys on my untouchable list.
Tune us in anywhere, anytime.
Every team's got those. That's my point.
Just search The Game Nashville in your app store and download today. And keep it locked on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
Calling a criminal defense lawyer or a divorce lawyer, you may think it's the worst day of your life. It doesn't have to be. If you have quality, competent representation who can guide you through a complex system, we can do that for you. Despite if you've been arrested for a DUI or a robbery charge, whether or not you're going through a divorce or a post-divorce, or demanding your fundamental constitutional right to parent your children. 615-604-6263. AmandaJGentry.com.
Houston Clinic Orthopedics wants to thank their patients for voting them the #1 orthopedic practice in the Nashville Scene Poll for 3 years in a row. Their physicians specialize in spine, joint replacement, knee, hip, upper extremity, and other orthopedic conditions. At Houston Clinic Orthopedics, they adhere to all CDC guidelines for the patient's and staff safety. To experience world-class orthopedic care and see a list of all physicians, visit their website at tn.houston.com and book your appointment online today.
Thinking about making a change? You've put in the years and had success, but ready for something more? Well, good news. Little Guys Movers is looking for folks just like you to own and operate their very own Little Guys Movers franchise. From Broadway to Brentwood to Mount Juliet, if you can hear my voice, there's an affordable, profitable Little Guys franchise opportunity nearby. Use your existing 401k to invest in yourself. Financing options are available. Join a team with 30 plus years of growth and good times. Learn more at littleguysfranchise.com and then make that call.
Curation CBD is a local family-owned business started and grown right here in Middle Tennessee. Curation's mission is to provide the community with locally and organically sourced CBD products for everyday use. Curation means healing, and their CBD products will do just that. Curation CBD is a certified Tennessee product and is available at the Painted Tree in Franklin. Or visit them online and order now on their website at curationcompany.com. Use promo code DDC25 at checkout for 25% off Curation CBD. Curation, CBD products curated for life.
Don't miss the historic opening of Geodis Park on May 1st as Nashville SC comes home for the first time of the 2022 season. Become a season ticket member starting at only $357 to ensure you are there for the big day. Come on in and grab a seat at NashvilleSC.com/22ticks.
From the Hillside Medical Game Studios, WPRT FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne. Broadcasting on Alexa.
I appreciate that.
And other smart speakers.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
A Cromwell Media Station.
Live from the Game Nashville studios, it's Stillman and Company. Delivered by TriStar Moving. TriStar Movers with 5-star service. With Jared Stillman on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN.
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Stillman & Company is delivered by TriStar Moving, ESPN 1025. The Game streaming live on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook Live. Thanks to the law offices of Amanda Gentry. Live from the Hillside Medical Game Studios, Fireball Hot Take Friday. Ian, in the 7 years we've been doing this, can you remember a week in the offseason where the drama was turned up so high in Titanland?
Maybe some contract drama.
Maybe a little bit, but I can't even, like, in the season, yes, because you've got games going on or you've got quarterbacks being replaced or that, yes. The Brady Tannehill stuff, but that wasn't really
Coaching drama.
Coaching drama with Malarkey.
The Malarkin drama. Yeah.
Rashard Matthews with his drama. I mean, there's been some drama. But in the offseason, I mean, this week we got the voluntary offseason workouts that are starting. Derrick Henry's not there. Ryan Tannehill's not there. Jeffrey Simmons is not there. A.J. Brown's not there. You got A.J. Brown's contract. He takes Tennessee out of his bio on Twitter. You got the Deebo Samuel's stepmom's Instagram live video with them discussing the A.J. contract situation in the background. You got the Robinson-Vrabel press conference yesterday where we were a little surprised Vrabel made it be known that he would like all the players to be at the voluntary workouts without telling them they need to be there, but telling them, I'd like you all to be there.
A little nudge.
And then today, Ryan Tannehill on Instagram posting a vacation fishing shot, telling everybody that his batteries are recharged thanks to his energy drink, and that's where we land today. The bad optics of Tannehill not being there Monday, everybody commenting on it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and now the picture of the either I don't understand how this is going to look or I don't care. And something I was thinking about, which is when you go out and hire a Nick Saban assistant coach to be your head coach, you're trying to recreate Alabama.
Yes.
There's no way around that. Georgia wanted to recreate Alabama, and they have. Tennessee wanted
for a season.
I mean, Georgia's been a top 5 program for the last, 4 years.
A top 5 program, I think, is a little bit of a stretch.
Georgia's been at how many SEC championship games? Georgia's been to 2 national title games.
I wouldn't say that they've recreated Alabama. I think that's a stretch.
I think. Look at the draft. Look at the draft. Big defensive lineman.
For a season.
Bum quarterback. Great linebackers. Great running backs.
For a season.
Great wide receivers. That's Alabama.
And I'm saying Georgia has not done it long enough for me to say that they are Alabama.
But that's what they're doing. What they've done is they've built in Alabama. Like, you think Kirby, you think all of a sudden they're going to stink now because all these guys are gone?
I did not say that.
They're getting top
But I'm not going to say that they are Alabama.
No. Well, it's impossible when you have to play Alabama to be Alabama. If there wasn't an Alabama, right? Like, Nick Saban didn't have an Alabama that he had to play because he was Alabama, right?
Yes.
Okay. So if Kirby doesn't have to play Alabama, he has 2 national championships. He's in another playoff because they lost that game where Jalen Hurts came off the bench and beat Georgia.
But he didn't.
Right, because he has to play Alabama.
So they're not Alabama.
But they're neck and neck since Kirby's been there. In the championship game, 1-1.
In the season.
And Alabama has not been as good as Alabama has been since Kirby got to Georgia.
I don't think that has a direct reflection of
My
Georgia.
whole point is that they've recreated the Alabama system at Georgia. It is the Alabama system. It is get all the best recruits, get guys to sit on the bench, get big, huge, run the ball, don't have to have great quarterback. They're playing Saban ball at Georgia. When Tennessee tried that with Jeremy Pruitt, and it blew up in their face because Pruitt wasn't the right guy to do it. When you bring in Mike Vrabel and John Robinson, you're trying to recreate the Patriot way. That's what you're trying to do. Just like Detroit tried to do when they brought in Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn. Recreate the Patriot way. Everybody's trying to. Kansas City did with Pioli and Romeo Crennel. Everybody's trying to. It's worked here. It's worked here. And I think it's worked here because Vrabel, unlike all the other guys that want to be like Belichick, they just see Belichick, they want to be like Belichick. Vrabel takes the things that he didn't like from Belichick and doesn't do them. Like, he has the experience of being in everybody else's shoes. Joe Judge does not. And so this is a Patriot Way organization. And yet, when you've got all your guys not showing up to voluntary workouts, and you've got Ryan Tannehill, an average quarterback, average. You've got Ryan Tannehill posting while everybody else is at work that he's on vacation on his boat. Bill Belichick might cut you for that. Like, Bill Belichick might trade you for that. Bill Belichick, he's traded people for a lot less. And good players. I mean, Richard Seymour's going to the Hall of Fame. Richard Seymour started complaining about a new contract. Gone. That's how Belichick is. And I listened, the Man in the Arena documentary. This is Brady, Vrabel, and Teddy Bruschi. I want you to listen to them about how their system was built. And you tell me if this sounds like the Titans after all these guys decided not to show up for work this week.
And that's a huge competition when you're in there, and there's me, and there's Rodney, there's Willie, there's Vrabel, there's Pfeiffer.
Ty Warren, Willie McGinnis, Brew, or Vrabel, or Vince Wilfork. Guys on offense like Troy Brown. We'd always say, you're never getting edge on me. I'm gonna outwork you. All those guys, that's what we were. We were the edgers.
We had such a trust and an understanding of who each other was that you could talk a lot of and you could be, as ruthless as you wanted to be.
You weren't held accountable by the coach. You weren't held accountable by the fans. You were held accountable by the guy that was sitting next to you every day.
It wasn't about the more you can do, it was who could do the most.
You think you're coming to the weight room at 6:30 in the morning? I've already got a half hour on you. I've been here since 6.
Not getting it in, huh? I'm getting the edge on you.
Just verbally letting people know out in the open, this is what I did, what'd you do?
You think you got an hour of treatment? I got 2 hours of treatment.
Or when somebody leaves the building, are you leaving already?
Oh, you only watched an hour of film today? I watched 3.
Still not doing the extra. I'm getting the edge on you today.
Now they look like a machine. Oh, they are.
It takes guts to do that. It takes relationships. It takes courage, too.
That effort, that joy, that enthusiasm that we had, that carried us.
It's another professional football player. I mean, this is a grown man, but I'm going to call you out.
That proved a point. It's like, yeah, this might sound cute, but I'm being really serious right now.
I hear this, and I think about Derrick Henry. Where's he at?
He's training.
Not here.
He's not there, but he's
Where's
training.
Simmons?
I don't know where Simmons is.
He was at the Preds game the other night, but apparently he's not working out. Where's Tannehill?
On his boat.
And so, are they really getting the edge? Are they pushing each other? Are they holding people accountable? Are they being held accountable? And from the system that Vrabel comes from, that answer is no. And I wonder if we're starting to lose, if there's going to start to be a little bit of a Mike Vrabel's going to have to crack down a little bit on these guys, because it does feel like that Patriot way is getting lost. And I know that Vrabel and Robinson, if their system is set up to be a certain way, they're going to want that system to operate that way, and they will get rid of people that do not fall in line with the system, because that's the system. Like, the Patriot way is, oh, Deion Branch, you want too much money. Goodbye, Deion Branch. Oh, Malcolm Butler, you didn't practice before the Super Bowl. Sit on the bench, Malcolm Butler. Goodbye, Malcolm Butler. Like, that is that way. And maybe it's all bull crap. Mike Mularkey said, that podcast he did with the Steelers people?
Yeah.
That nobody caught on to for 2 years?
Uh-huh.
I actually, listened to the whole thing. Mike Mularkey, at one point, and I thought about discussing this, he said that, talked about his firing in Tennessee and was basically like, New England guy wanted a New England thing.
Yeah.
They all think that they reinvented the wheel. And Mularkey said it, and I forget exactly how I said it, but they all think that they reinvented the wheel because they had Tom Brady. Like, that was Mike's theory, was all these New England guys think they're so smart, but really they just
had the best quarterback ever.
And I'm just telling you, the Patriot way, you heard it right there. It wasn't about the coach holding you accountable. It wasn't about the fans holding you accountable. We held each other accountable. We're all the Titan guys. Not there. And I think that just burns Vrabel's rear end.
And I do understand that there are probably some people listening, rolling their eyes, thinking, it's April. It's voluntary workouts. The real work happens in training camp and before games and so on and so forth. But that's the edge that they're talking about.
Yes.
Is, those 30 minutes that Tom Brady has been lifting weights before you came in, That's his edge.
Right.
It's every single little bit that you can get over someone else that makes you more competitive.
The edge is not about Brady worked out 30 more minutes than me, so Brady's better. It's you need to work out 30 more minutes to be Tom Brady.
And it's not the 30 minutes that makes Tom Brady great, but it's every single second put in. It's the idea that I'm going to work harder than everyone else.
Brady and Cliff Kingsbury, when Cliff Kingsbury was the backup quarterback in New England, would race to get to the facility first in the morning. Like, that's how they were about that. So TD texted me and goes, it's absurd to conclude that Derrick Henry isn't working out because he's not a voluntary workout. So you know he is working out. I didn't say he's not working out.
We've seen videos of him
He's
working
not
out.
with the team. And you can't hold people accountable on the team or be held accountable by the team if you're not with the team. And that is what I think bothers Vrabel. And where we all can conclude that Derrick Henry is going to get his work in and will be in shape at camp, we can all agree with that.
Oh, yeah.
The message for Vrabel is that if Derrick can do that, then everybody thinks they can do that. And if everybody starts doing that, you know that's going to burn Vrabel in his rear end all day. That's the number one thing Vrabel hates. Rob is up next. Phone lines driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Go ahead, Rob.
Hey, well, thanks for taking my call and happy Friday.
Yep.
I have a little hint for you guys, and it goes like this: he's grimacing at nothing, and he's smiling at everything, and there's a reason for it because he's making money. What would you think if he goes radio silent, doesn't show up for volunteer camp, and then gets paid $100 for every like, gets paid $500 for every retweet, and gets paid $100 for every time that somebody pays attention? And if you've watched the Twitter feed on this little smiling face lately, it is going through the roof.
Okay, I can't follow this anymore. I gave it a second. I'm like, where's he going with this?
You can follow it.
I couldn't follow it. I appreciate your call, though. I can't follow it.
Is he saying like the social post he's making money off of?
I don't know.
I think so.
Okay. Right. Good. Make your money.
That's fine.
Have we ever cared about any of that?
No. Not at all. I mean, that's like the Ryan Tannehill having a partnership with Celsius doesn't bother me. Like, that's not the point.
So I do want to say this. So TD said that I said that Derrick Henry wasn't working out. I don't know. I mean, what I meant was he wasn't working out with the team.
We've seen videos of
Derrick
him
Henry
out.
always works out. It's like, would I be worried about Derrick Henry working out when he had a broken foot? No, because it's Derrick Henry.
Even if we didn't see a video, I would feel
Derrick
pretty
Henry's
good about
always
the fact
gonna be
that he's
working out.
probably
And
working out.
honestly, like, you know, Derrick, I give Derrick credit. Derrick has cut down on the workout videos this offseason, and I actually am glad that he has.
Why?
Because I don't need to see you lifting weights. I need to see you running the football in the playoffs for more than 60 yards. Because it's 2 playoff games in a row, and Derrick Henry has come in there as Derrick Henry and has not played like Derrick Henry. So I need to see you carry the rock in the playoffs. I don't need to see you over there lifting a car with one hand and pushing it up in the air. Congratulations. How many yards that get you against the Ravens? How many yards that going to get you against the Chargers first round of the playoffs next year? I mean, that's the thing. Is like, for me with the Titans, it's not all about fun and games anymore. This is serious. This is sports. This is win in the playoffs. Corey Curtis, News 2, will join us next. His reaction to Ryan Tannehill missing the offseason workout program or the beginning of it, and him out there fishing. We'll get Corey Curtis's thoughts. That's next. Stillman & Company. It's ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Tune in every Wednesday at 4:30 p.m. for Nashville's own Jason Fitz with Jarrett Stillman and Company. Fitz started his sports talk career right here on 102.5 The Game, and now he anchors shows for ESPN. Jason Fitz is brought to you by Blood Assurance. Give blood. Give local. Give life.
Whatever you love listening to, you'll find it on Audible. Best-selling audiobooks, exclusive originals, podcasts, and more. Sign up and start free at audible.com.
The designer jewelry event of 2022 is this weekend at Genesis Diamonds. See all new creations from the world's biggest names in jewelry. Store-wide savings up to 35% and take advantage of zero-interest financing. Top designers are here with their newest and most inspired lines. Rings, earrings, pendants, bands, bracelets, many being shown for the very first time. Special pricing across the board. Spread your payments with zero-interest financing. Extra savings on GIA-certified diamonds, too. Friday through Sunday only at Genesis Diamonds. Green Hills and Cool Springs.
Join us for the Smashville Open House on Saturday, April 23rd at Bridgestone Arena. This is your opportunity to select a seat for 2022-23 season tickets. Tour the Nashville Predators locker room, enjoy Nash's closet cleanout, and take your shot on net to win a pair of half-season tickets. It's the perfect event for the whole family. Kids can enjoy inflatables, a balloon artist, and more. Plus, watch the Preds in action against the Lightning on Fang Vision. We'll see you April 23rd. Visit NashvillePredators.com/open house.
Cutting the price of your wireless bill feels good, really good. Actually, it feels great. You should try it out. So cut your bill by switching to Straight Talk Wireless, now offering our $45 Silver Unlimited plan with 5 gigabytes of hotspot and nationwide 5G on America's largest, most dependable networks. The $45 Silver Unlimited plan from Straight Talk. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise.
A month equals 30 days. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com. 5G capable device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary.
Here's the deal. I've had constipation with belly pain, discomfort, and bloating for years. I've tried a lot of laxatives and fiber supplements, but my symptoms keep coming back.
You could have a chronic condition called irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C. Linzess, or linaclotide, is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. Linzess works differently than laxatives. It lets you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2 years old. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. There could be more to your story with IBS-C. Talk to a doctor today. Say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS. Sponsored by AbbVie and Ironwood Pharmaceutical.
You know it's going to happen, and when your car needs service or repair, remember Mitchell's Mr. Transmission on Gallatin Road, just north of Briley Parkway. Now here's Jim Mitchell.
At Mitchell's Mr. Transmission, we also offer free towing with any major repairs. If your vehicle has a breakdown and you should need any type towing, towing is available through Dad's Towing Service. Dad's is a professional towing company in Nashville that provides all types of towing and recovery, 24 hours a day.
You know it's going to happen, and when your car needs service or repair, remember Mitchell's Mr. Transmission on Gallatin Road, just north of Briley Parkway.
Interact with Stillman and Company. Call or text the show at 615-737-1025. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
Stillman and Company join ESPN 1025 The Game for the Music City Celebrity Golf Tournament benefiting Folds of Honor on May 16th at the Hermitage Golf Course. Put your team together and come play with athletes, musicians, and other local celebrities. Sign up at theGameNashville.com/golf. So, the week that was for the Titans, voluntary workouts begin Monday. Derrick Henry there? Nope. A.J. Brown there? Nope. Contract issues. Jeffrey Simmons there? Nope. But he was at the Preds game Tuesday. Ryan Tannehill there? Nope. Where's he at? Nobody knows. Then today, Ryan Tannehill posts a picture of himself fishing on vacation. So now we know he's on vacation. As Austin Hooper said Monday, spending time with his family. After 12 weeks off, he needed a 13th. Corey Curtis joins us from News 2. Corey, your reaction to Ryan Tannehill and the optics of missing voluntary workout and now posting vacation pictures?
Well, first off, it didn't surprise me after not taking any accountability for the loss after the game and not showing up the next day during locker cleanout. It did not surprise me that he did not show up this week. And for those people who say it's voluntary, you are correct. But I think it says even more about him that it's voluntary and he's not there. It says it didn't hurt enough, because if it hurt bad enough, he would have been the first one at the door. And it should have hurt him more than it hurt anybody. But apparently it didn't. I'm not saying he didn't care. But if it hurt as much as it hurt some of the fans that I talked to, he would have been there 5 minutes before the door opened, or 30 minutes. Because I talked to some fans who a month after that loss were still hurting. We're still having a hard time getting over it. Apparently, didn't hurt that bad.
Corey, do you think that this is indicative that Ryan Tannehill is not as good of a leader as the Titans say he is?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, look, you can tell me he's a great leader all you want. Who's leading the team right now? Kevin Byard's there.
Ben Jones there. You know what we did in the office on Sunday? We said, okay, we get the Titans on Monday. Who's going to be there? Who are we going to talk to? You know who the first two names were that we knew we were going to talk to? Gavin Byard and Ben Jones. I mean, it wasn't hard. We knew who was going to be there. And, you know, when we debated if Tannehill was going to be there, and we all basically didn't think he would be there. So, no. I mean, and look, do I think Derrick Henry should be there? Yeah, I do. I mean, do I think Derrick Henry is working his tail off wherever he is? Absolutely, but that's not what it's about. It's about leading the team. It's about setting the standard for the guys who look up to you, the guys who you want to be as good as you. You have to set the standard. And I know you could say you can set the standard all season long. Well, the standard starts now, and the standard starts when you're doing the work that you don't have to do.
Corey Curtis, News 2 is our guest. What did you think of the Tannehill picture, and did you interpret that as a message?
Look, I don't know if it's a message or not. If it's a message, good for him. If it's not a message, he's one of the most tone-deaf individuals to ever play here. Because you could have, if all it is a Celsius ad, then all you needed to do, you knew when off-season workouts started. You posted last week. You posted last week before off-season workouts begin, and then it's not an issue. But you knew you're posting this story during off-season workouts. You're telling everybody, and again, if it's that company posting it, they're still doing it, you're still a part of it. They're posting it while your teammates are working, and you just threw 3 interceptions, and you're saying, "I'm good, guys, but I got a Marlin on the line. When I get this thing in, I'll be there." And it looks bad. It looks bad. There's no way around it. Am I being unfair? Maybe. But you know what I know? I know the Tennessee Titans have been here for 20-plus years, and they've never hoisted the Lombardi Trophy, okay? And it doesn't get hoisted by reeling in a tuna on April 12th or whatever it is.
You know what I was thinking about this, Corey, too, is I feel like, and not just Tannehill not being there, though I think that does burn Vrabel's ass, too. I think to not have the leaders there, the Jeffrey Simmons, the Derrick Henrys, the Ryan Tannehills, I think AJ's a different case because that's a contract. But to not have those guys there, I think burns his rear end because I don't think that's how Mike Vrabel does business, and I don't think that's how those Patriot teams did business. And I think that the inability to hold people accountable, and for those guys to hold people accountable, and for the coaches to hold everybody accountable, I think that really burns Vrabel's rear end. I think Vrabel's going to be really upset about all this.
Well, I don't know how he's going to handle it or how he's not going to handle it. I just know for me that if the season had ended that way for me, I would have been there. And as a leader, I would have been there. I mean, look, again, you talk about optional, all right? So my days off are Friday and Saturday. If the Titans play a Saturday game, do you think I come into work on that day? Mm-hmm. Do you think I view it as optional? What message does it send to my coworkers if I say, "You're good, you got it. The Titans play 17 times a year. I'm not going to be there." No, that's never even a consideration. It's not a consideration. And I think, if you're the coach, I think you're worried that Jeffrey Simmons had a huge year. Is he satisfied? You're worried that, Ryan Tannehill just threw 3 picks, but he's making $38 million against the cap this year. Is he satisfied? Because they're not here proving that they're not satisfied. And again, I understand that they're all working at wherever they're at, but it's not an individual sport. It's a team sport. And if you sign up to be a leader, and that's what these guys have done. I mean, Ryan Tannehill, if you don't want to be a leader, you should have stayed at wide receiver at Texas A&M, and you don't take the money. It just, these things all go together. It's like when Chris Johnson got the money, they basically said, "You're going to be here for off-season workouts." And he showed up for off-season workouts at that point. But if you don't want those jobs, don't take them, because there's a responsibility that goes with all of them. And when you're a team putting together, you really have to make sure you've got the right guys in those key components to lead the way. I mean, like those Patriot teams did, Michael Jordan, Tom Brady, I mean, they were the guys, and they pushed everybody through on their teams. They never didn't show up. They never didn't show up.
And when Brady didn't show up, it was when he was mad at Belichick. I mean, that's what
he
used the offseason program as his way to stick his middle finger in Belichick's face. And that's where I look at Tannehill with this picture. And I think it either has to do with the Vrabel comments or the Robinson comments when I asked yesterday about drafting a quarterback and would you have that discussion with Ryan, and have you had that discussion with Ryan? And I don't think that it was the Robinson comments. I think it was the Vrabel comments. And I do think that Tannehill heard those Vrabel comments about, I'm comfortable with where Ryan, and I expect him in shortly. Vrabel didn't say he was happy. He said he was comfortable. Yeah. And I interpreted that as Vrabel's pissed. And I think Tannehill did too. And I think this picture is his middle finger right in Mike Vrabel's face.
I'm not going to say that, but the fact that it came this week after that, because I agree with you. I mean, he said he clearly wants everyone here.
Yep.
I think that's his expectation. If you're a competitor, that's what you do. But obviously, he can't make anybody be there, and he's limited as to what he can say. And he, as a player, would be there because that's what he was about. And so, look, if that's what it is, there was no bigger middle finger than the 3 interceptions he threw against the Bengals. So.
Yeah, though he wasn't trying to put his middle finger in Vrabel's face. That was
no, but you know what? That's it. The fans feel like when he didn't take any accountability for it afterwards, he did.
What are your thoughts, Corey Curtis News 2? What are your thoughts on the AJ situation this week?
I worry about it. I wasn't worried about it like a week or so ago, but I worry that all of these guys, because we haven't heard a dollar amount that these guys want. What have we heard? Maybe what teams are offering?
Well, we now know that AJ wants more than $20 million a season because that's what the Titans are offering.
But how much more? Does he want $2 million more? Does he want $5 million more? Does he want $10 million more? Is he realistic? We don't know any of that. We don't know. And that's what worries me about it is he in a completely unrealistic realm of how much money he should get? And I would say the same thing for Deebo Samuel and all the other guys, because they're all their own biggest fans. And, that's part of the reason they got to where they're at is a huge, overwhelming belief in themselves. But at some point, there are so many good young receivers in the game. You can't pay somebody for what you hope they're going to be. You got to pay them for what they are.
Yeah. Corey Curtis, News 2, Fireball Hot Take Friday. What's your hot take this week?
You know what? I'm expecting some type of quarterback firework coming up on Thursday night. Something is going to happen. Something. I don't know what it is. Something is going to happen with a quarterback. I just feel it in my bones, and I'm excited to see what it is.
Okay, just to specify, when you say quarterback firework, does that mean quarterback firework for one of the 32 teams, or does that mean quarterback firework for this team?
Oh, and one of the 32 teams. I'm not saying for this team. But you never know, right? You never know.
Well, I'll say this. Tannehill ain't doing himself any favors this week. Corey Curtis, News 2. As always, Corey, appreciate it. We'll talk soon.
All right, have a good one.
Yep, Corey Curtis joining us on the program. Put him on the list of people that think Tannehill should be there, which has everybody on one end and Buck Rising on the other side. That's pretty much it. By the way, it should be noted.
Sounds about right.
And again, I like Buck, but it should be noted. Like in December of last year, I texted Buck and I asked him if he was on Tannehill's payroll, as if it was like the personal trainer, the nanny, and Buck.
Uh-huh.
And since then, he is
personal hype man.
He has defended Tannehill on the Cincinnati game. Said it wasn't his fault. Said it was Todd Downing's fault.
Oh, okay.
He defended Tannehill for not being at workouts. Said he didn't care. And he's defended Tannehill for this. claiming that it was Tannehill's
Saying Buck
team.
doesn't care doesn't mean it's a defense.
I'm just
It's
saying.
just Buck saying he doesn't care.
That's why he's on this list and everybody else is on the other side. 615-737-1025 is our phone number, 615-737-1025. We'll get back to your phones and on all of this. There is something about the AJ contract, though, that I do want to discuss. We'll do that coming up next. Seltzerland is turning Nashville into a hard seltzer paradise on Saturday, April 30th at Riverside Golf Links. Enjoy this one-of-a-kind immersive experience as you spend the day tasting over 100 unique hard seltzers, indulge in mouth-watering munchies, tons of seltzer swag, and bust out the gram for the most Insta-worthy moments. Seltzerland has rounded up the best hard seltzer brands in the land for one epic day dedicated to the bubbly brew that everyone can't get enough of. Go to theGameNashville.com/contest to enter for your chance to win tickets to Seltzerland.
Jump in the mind of an NHL veteran as Predators analyst Hal Gill joins Stillman Company Tuesday afternoons at 5:30.
Here they are in a pressure situation every night because they need 2 points.
And Robby and Rexrode Thursday mornings at 9:30.
Goaltending, I think it might be an issue at some point.
Presented by Duncan on Smashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
This segment of ESPN 1025 The Game is brought to you by Train Heating and Cooling Systems. Tested, retested, engineered, and re-engineered to keep up with you. We run together. Visit traininfo.com to find your local independent train dealer. Traininfo.com. It's hard to stop a train.
Victory Award-winning New Amsterdam Vodka knows all about it, but in life, it's not always so clear. So New Amsterdam Vodka believes that in life, you've got to find your own wins. You've got to overcome your fears, go all in, even when you've got nothing at all. Find your wins. And when you do, raise that glass of New Amsterdam Vodka in victory. You've earned it. New Amsterdam Spirits Company, Modesto, California.
Sounds Baseball is back. Catch the action at First Horizon Park tonight at 6:35 as the Nashville Sounds take on the Chicago White Sox affiliate. Kick off your weekend and enjoy the sounds of dueling pianos during the game. Grab your tickets today at NashvilleSounds.com.
What if you could be debt-free in 3 weeks? Hey, Willie Donick here. My friends at Loan Pronto are helping people do it every day. It's Loan Pronto's debt consolidation home refi, wiping out tens of thousands in credit card debt. Listen, your home's value is way up. You can refinance now, take money out to pay off all your credit cards, eliminate PMI charges, pay off personal loans, or other high-interest debt. One local couple had over $50,000 in credit card debt. Loan Pronto did a debt consolidation refi. And even though their mortgage rate went up a tad, they cut their monthly payments by $900. Why pay 20% interest when you can consolidate it to one low payment with a mortgage APR in the threes? Homeowners who do it save an average of $800 a month. Do it now and even skip your next house payment altogether. That's what I call financial freedom. Call Loan Pronto now. 615-499-5780. That's 615-499-5780 or loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166-1781. Subject to lender approval.
Hey, what's going on? Chase McCabe here to tell you about Dr. Kelly Rice Family Cosmetic and Dental Sleep Medicine. Dr. Rice, is it true that according to the American Dental Association, roughly 80% of people in the U.S. have some form of gum disease?
That's right, but our non-surgical periodontal therapy is painless and effective in keeping your mouth healthy. And the mouth is the window to the health of the rest of the body.
I know you have some different things that you offer. What else can you tell us?
Well, first, who doesn't want whiter teeth? Our new Zoom LED whitening system is less sensitive, and you get more than 5 shades of whitening. And we just upgraded both our lasers to kill bacteria during your cleaning.
What about taking care of cold sores some people may have, which can become painful? Can lasers help with that too?
Yes, the gentle laser setting will kill the virus in your cold sores all naturally while reducing the healing time by half. And our special soft tissue wand uses warm, light laser therapy to give instant relief to severe TMJ pain. Our approach to holistic dentistry is unique.
Give Dr. Kelly Rice Family Cosmetic and Dental Sleep Medicine a call today at 615-373-4488 or visit kellyerice.com. You'll certainly be glad you did.
ESPN's Turon Davenport breaks down the Titans like no other.
On the field chemistry, I don't think it's going to be a problem. It's just going to be a process.
Catch TD Mondays at 11, Thursdays at 3, and Fridays at 8. Plus, the Talking with TD podcast drops every Wednesday.
When you draft players, it's not just for one season, it's for a career.
Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey Nashville, this is Rick Stockstill, and you're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 1025 The Game.
What have you heard about this video? What have you heard about the things that we learned potentially from this video, if it is real, and your thoughts on the entire situation?
All right. So first of all, I have not corroborated that this is real. I believe it is, but I want to talk on the assumption that it is real, okay?
Okay.
And that the people in the video are who they appear to be, because otherwise this doesn't make any sense, right? So I would say that is correct that Deebo Samuel has not received an offer from the 49ers. From my understanding, he basically told them, like, I want to be traded, don't make an offer. It's because that's like when people say, oh, it's probably about the money. Like, I don't think this is. Now, I mean, if he had an offer in hand of $25 million a year, might it make it more difficult to have started this whole thing? Yeah, I think had the 49ers made an offer initially, he'd have a lot more to think about, but they didn't. So he does not have an offer. He told them, don't make an offer. I want to be traded. So I think all of that was accurate. And, you know, it didn't seem like there was any like sort of animosity, like, oh, why didn't they make an offer? I think Deebo is fine with it because he wants to be traded, right? The A.J. Brown part of it, what I took from that is their opening offer was $20 million a year. Assuming that that is true, and that is actually because, you know, if he has an offer for $20 million, like teams don't make their best offer right away. These deals take time. Everyone always makes an offer and says, all right, you know, here's all we can do, and then you come back and like, actually we could. So like, I took it to be $20 million was the opening offer, which to me is probably a good place to be because it's going to go up from there, and he should make, let's say, somewhere between 20 and 25. So, you know, he's at least in the wheelhouse there.
There you go. Ian Rappaport on the Pat McAfee Show talking about the A.J. contract. I hear everybody talking about, you know, A.J.'s mad this, A.J.'s this, Titans said this, Titans won't this, Titans. How much money should A.J. get? So here's what I came up with.
Okay.
And this is for people that think that I just get on the air and just scream a bunch and don't actually try to inform. I believe this exercise is going to be very informational for people.
I'm excited.
Okay. AJ set to make $3.9 million this year.
Okay.
Base salary, $3.9 million. The franchise tag based upon the current top 5 wide receivers in the NFL right now for next year would be $25.96 million. If they were to apply the tag a second time onto A.J. Brown, it would be 120% of that, which would be $31.152 million. You following?
Got it.
Okay. That equals $61 million over 3 years.
Which would be about $20 million a year.
Okay. So the Titans have offered $20 million a year. I have reported that A.J. Brown's camp, somebody in A.J.'s camp, told me in late February that they thought A.J. was signing a 4-year, $80 million contract. That somebody in A.J.'s camp told me to expect a 4-year, $80 million contract. Clearly, that was the initial offer from the Titans because that's what we learned from the Deebo Samuel video. So, again, the Titans, without having to give A.J. $1 or anything to sign other than franchise tag tenders, control A.J. for the next 3 years at least $61 million. Now, that number could go up if more receivers sign and that number inflates. It could also decrease if guys get cut, like DeAndre Hopkins gets cut in Arizona because he's not worth the $27 million, whatever. So I figured this. If A.J.'s due $61 million, let's round down to 60, but let's be realistic. Let's give him a little bit more guaranteed money here. $64 million guaranteed over 4 years. And then fine. Make the 4th year, make it $26 million. Make it, because originally I was going to say 25. If you made that 25 for the last year, then you'd be looking at an $89 million contract. Let's just make it 26. Let's give A.J. Brown $26 million in that last year.
$90 million contract.
64 guaranteed, so it's a $90 million contract, and A.J. has to earn the 4th year. And the 4th year is 26. So if A.J. plays at a really high level, then A.J. will get $26 million. And if A.J. doesn't play at a high level, then you cut A.J., and he doesn't get his $26 million. But that $26 million number inflates the overall average of the contract to $22.5 million. Let's call it a day. Any problems there for anybody? And let me say this. The number one thing about all of this, no trade clause.
Yeah, I think we're on board with that.
Trade. That is not. I will franchise tag him before I will no trade. Because here's the thing the Titans give up by making this deal. Because, again, we came out to, with the tags right now, it'd be $61 million over those 3 years. But, again, it's probably going to go up. So we give A.J. a little bit something. But you're getting those years guaranteed. If A.J. plays on $3.9 million this year and stinks or has a bunch of injuries, and then the injury thing, which is a legitimate question to have when you're discussing do you want to offer him this money, the Titans seem to just overlook it. Doesn't matter. If A.J. gets injured this year or A.J. doesn't produce this year, then he doesn't get the 25.96. He doesn't get the 31.152. So you're getting that right there. You're getting that. Plus, I'm giving you $3 million for signing today. Here's the thing. I don't think A.J. is going to accept 22.5.
Why not?
I think that these guys have it in their heads that if Tyreek's worth 30, then I'm worth 25.
And that was the number in my head, was 25, that AJ probably wants.
He hasn't
but
earned it.
I don't know what I would be willing to give. For example, look at Stephon Diggs' contract at 24.
Now,
I'm going to take Stephon
The
Diggs.
Diggs contract is a weird one and this is why I didn't get into comparing contracts, because we could take all these different receivers and say, well, here's
the way
Keenan
the
Allen's
contracts
contract.
are written up, and I don't want to say, well, AJ's not as good as this guy, so better than this guy, so he should be in the middle of that.
But there is going to be a lot of talk around that. But the thing about Diggs' contract was I think Diggs had like 3 more years on his contract or 2 more years on his contract, and this added 4 years to the 2 years that he already had.
Maybe so, because it's through 28.
So the Diggs contract is weird, and I don't think that it should really count for this. The thing is, Debo's not taking 22.5.
Probably.
I don't know
no.
I don't know anything about DK. I'm just saying, from the Titans' standpoint, AJ, if they use all their leverage on AJ, it's $61 million as of today. That number could go up like anything money related
across 3 years.
Like if I were to sit down with a developer and try to build a house, and he were to say, okay, this house can cost you $2.5 million. Well, by the time, especially building costs, inflation, by the time that's over with, I mean, it's going to be $3 million house.
Yeah.
So I understand these prices are going up if you don't sign today. But again, it's $61 million. I'm giving you 64 guaranteed. I'm giving you 60. I'm giving you what?
Guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
And that's what Chris Sanders said
That
on the show on Wednesday.
He wanted signing bonus. That 31.152 that is 2 tags away, there's no guarantee you get to that. So now it does help the Titans to do this because you can manipulate cap numbers this way, as opposed to next season taking on a 25.96 hit on the cap, which the Titans won't want to do. But it allows you to do that. I don't care about the salary cap. You all know that. I've never cared about the salary cap since I learned that it was fake about 3 months ago. So don't care about that. But again, really $64 million guaranteed. Signing bonus, however you want to do it, whatever, I don't care. $90 million total, $26 million in the last year. AJ has to earn it. And again, the number that doesn't matter, 22.5, that's the number, and I'm not sure AJ would take that. Though if he got 22.5 today, it would make him the 4th highest paid receiver in the NFL behind Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, and Stephon Diggs.
DeAndre Hopkins is in there as well.
It would make him the 5th highest paid. The Hopkins deal's weird too. But guess how much money Devontae Adams, and let's be real about Devontae Adams. AJ is not Devontae Adams.
No.
Devontae Adams got $67.5 million guaranteed. So I'm guaranteeing AJ $3 million less than Devontae freaking Adams just got guaranteed. And I still think AJ is going to turn that down.
Because the average per year is significantly lower than the total guarantee.
But is AJ better than any of those? And again, you know I don't care about that number, the average. Is AJ better than any of those guys?
No, he's not.
No! So add that to the kitty. We're to your phones next. 615-737-1025 here on a Fireball Hot Day Friday. Do you like my contract?
Yeah, I do like it.
To the phones next. ESPN 1025, The Game is Nashville's official home of NASCAR. Tune in this Sunday at 1 o'clock for the Geico 500 at Talladega Superspeedway. And also get set for the race Chasing Checkers every Sunday at 8 a.m. on 1025 The Game.
Do you have that one person or thing that just makes you mad? Join us every Friday at noon on the DDC for You Just Made the List. Fueled by Parman Energy. Visit ParmanEnergy.com, your one-stop petroleum solution, and try Star Movie on the DDC on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
You just made the list.
From the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center.
I'm Fox 17 News Code Red meteorologist Dan Guthrie. Sunshine continues this afternoon with temperatures heading up to a high near 85 degrees. The record high for today, 86 degrees.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Tired of mosquitoes ruining your summer? Stop the bite. Go to tiredofmosquitoes.com and check out your special offer. Take back your summer. Go to tiredofmosquitoes.com.
Spring has sprung, which means it's time to renew your home with Social Furniture. It's their Spring Fling sale, where all furniture is up to 50% off. That's right, up to 50% off on top name brands such as Serta, Sealy, Simmons, Caracol, Bernhardt, and Woodhouse. At Social Furniture, you'll find new bedroom furniture, mattresses, and sofas, all up to 50% off. Spring into Social Furniture today on Charlotte Avenue in West Nashville. Shop local, shop social. Social Furniture is a proud supporter of your Nashville Predators.
At Copper Branch, they live life to the fullest. Food is your energy and your life. Located in the heart of downtown Nashville, their goal is to serve you, your friends, and family quality, great-tasting, plant-based power foods. Visit Copper Branch at 601 Church Street for breakfast, lunch, and dinner with convenient and validated parking during library hours, and download their app for curbside pickup. Or come out for songwriter and live music nights several times throughout the week to empower, energize, and feel your best. Visit Copper Branch today.
Smokeville Smoke Shop has been serving Hendersonville and Metro Nashville since 2015 and is committed to providing high-quality, hands-on, and personable customer service. Stop into Smokeville Smoke Shops in Hendersonville, Gallatin, Hermitage, and Goodlettsville to try any of their wide selection of locally sourced products and selection of top nationwide brands, including vapes, hookah, hand-blown glass, detox systems, e-juices, kratom products, leaf wraps, and much more. Visit Smokeville Smoke Shops today.
It's the return of Jack White, live in concert. The Supply Chain Issues Tour. Ascend Amphitheater, Saturday, April 30th and May 1st. Get tickets now at livenation.com. The brand new albums from Jack White, Fear of the Dawn, is available April 8th. And Entering Heaven Alive drops July 22nd. Don't miss Jack White. Visit jackwhitethird.com for more information.
Join us for the Smashville Open House on Saturday, April 23rd at Bridgestone Arena. This is your opportunity to select a seat for 2022-23 season tickets. Tour the Nashville Predators locker room. Take a shot on net to win a pair of half-season tickets and more. That's right, you could win half-season tickets. Plus, you'll watch your Preds in action against the Lightning on Fang Vision. We'll see you at Bridgestone Arena on April 23rd. Visit NashvillePredators.com/open house for more information. Let's go, Preds!
Darren McFarland.
He's cool. He's got a personality, and they make fun of him.
Willie Donick.
Would this be a fun guy to come to work and hang around with all day?
Chase McCabe.
They're just like, hey, we need you to play yourself.
Darren, Donick, and Chase have you covered weekdays from 10 to 2 on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Stillman and Company is on. Delivered by TriStar Moving.
John, you had a situation, I guess AJ's talking with Deebo Samuel on an Instagram video talking about the terms of the negotiations. You got him requesting a trade. Does any of this make you feel more urgency when it comes to the AJ situation?
Yeah, I mean, I've talked about where we're at. I've talked to AJ's reps. AJ knows how we feel about him, how much he means to this football team, and I haven't seen any, Instagram videos or Snapchats or Vimeos or any of that kind of stuff.
Oh, bull crap. John Robinson saw it. By the way, I love the old man pawpaw routine of I haven't seen any of those snap faces or Insta chats.
Any of the twit chats or the Vimeos. Do you even know what Vimeo is, John Robinson?
Well, John Robinson's on those things.
Well, not Vimeo.
But
that's not like a social
He's on Twitter.
Network.
He's on Instagram. He's on, John Robinson's on social media. The idea of, first of all, old people are on social media. Not he's not old, but old.
They don't necessarily know how to use it, but they're there.
Right, but like old people have always been on Facebook for like since they made it non-college, old people got into Facebook. And so old people have it. John Robinson knows, John Robinson heard. Again, the AJ contract, this to me would be the deal to Tory Dandy that I'd give Tory Dandy. And if Tory Dandy says that's not good enough, then we're going to be talking to the Jets if Tory hangs up. But again, the deal for me with AJ is 4 years, $90 million, 64 guaranteed over the first 3 years, an average of 22.5, and that'd make him the fourth highest paid wide receiver in the NFL. Excuse me, fifth highest paid receiver in the NFL behind Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, DeAndre Hopkins, and Stephon Diggs. And I think to me, that I think is fair. I did promise phones, so let's go to them, which are driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. We got that and the whole Tannehill mess.
Got a lot of Tannehill texts, but one texter texts in and says, let AJ play out the year. What's the better situation? You pay AJ, he misses 6 to 8 games this season, and the Titans spend the next 4 years overpaying him? Or is the better situation having to pay him an extra $2 to $3 million each season because he outperformed expectations and had an amazing season?
The problem might be you have to pay him an extra 10.
Because we've seen the way that the wide receiver market has been inflated in a very short period of time. So I hear this texter's point, but 2 to 3 years from now, I mean, that $30 million that Tyreek Hill is making now, like the highest paid wide receiver could be 40. Like, it just bumps up every single year.
It's also not wrong for A.J. Brown to feel like he deserves, like once you play out the contract, and there is the tag option, but that A.J. should feel like he wants, that he deserves the long-term security of a long-term deal. Mm-hmm. Like A.J. should be entitled to feel that way.
Yeah.
Now the Titans can feel however they want, but also know this. If you're trying to work that contract out, you're doing that after Debo probably gets traded and signs a massive contract, after Terry McLaurin signs a contract, after DK signs a contract, and one of those teams could be dumb enough to do something like the Cleveland Browns did with Deshaun Watson that's going to totally reset the market. And so now when you're looking at 22.5 for AJ, or you're looking at 64 guaranteed as opposed to, a couple months ago when you were looking at 60 guaranteed for AJ, you could be looking at 75 guaranteed for AJ. So that's the risk you run by waiting, because there's going to be another Christian Kirk by this time next year too. Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, I don't like.
But also, I do see the value in waiting those 2 years to see how the injury bug kind of figures itself out.
Yeah, well, if you wait the 2 years, he's not going to sign the second tender, and then you're going to have to trade him.
No,
then you're going to end up in a serious mess. I mean, to me, you either get it done now or you don't get it done. What's next?
JD texts in about AJ not showing up for voluntary practices and says, I hear you say AJ is different because it's a contract, but is it really? Last time I checked, he was still under contract. If I wanted a new deal with my team, I think I would be doing everything I could to show them and prove to them I'm a leader and I'm worth it.
So here's the difference. That's how business is done in the NFL. The reason that guys don't participate in drills while working on a new contract, TJ Watt did this last year, where he showed up for training camp,
but didn't go on
but
the field.
He didn't participate in any drills until the contract was done. Guys don't want to risk getting hurt.
And I don't blame them.
No, you've already gotten there. This is business for A.J. Brown. The Tannehill thing, maybe Tannehill's not happy with his contract. I heard Charles Robinson say that normally when a quarterback doesn't show up to the opening of the offseason program, like that is a contract thing. And I thought about Tannehill's contract and how there's really nothing guaranteed for Tannehill after this year. Could Tannehill be living on that same fantasy island where the Predators were up 3-0 after one period on Sunday against St. Louis, or where Dave Stewart's going to bring a minority-led owned Major League Baseball team with no taxpayer money involved for a franchise that doesn't exist island? Like Tannehill might be thinking,
packed island.
It's, boy, I tell you.
It's populated.
And so there's only one person around here, it feels like, that has to, knock those things down a peg. But I say all of this because I feel like I feel like maybe Tannehill thinks he's doing a good job and thinks he deserves a new contract. Now,
that is Fantasy Island.
Boy, if that came out, oh my God. Like, if that came out from Tom Pelissero, that Ryan Tannehill wanted a new contract.
What would your first reaction be?
I would call Chase. And I would tell Chase that we're going to have to tell the Predators that we cannot have Hal Giller-Crispy on that week, because I'm going to be too mad just railing on Tannehill for 20 hours a week that it would do harm to Hal and Crispy to have them on the show that week, because I would be so mad at the audacity.
I would
of
probably
Ryan
have
Tannehill
911
wanting a
dialed
new
up
contract.
every day at 2 p.m.
What's
just
next?
in case. Sean texted about Tannehill, says all actions point to Tannehill being checked out before the season has even begun. Skipping all the end-of-season items, lack of ownership in his role in the playoff game, now this. It's evident that Tannehill is disinterested unless things fall his way on his time and viewed through his lens.
You just think about Tannehill. What if you went to school every day, and every day when you went to school, you thought everybody hated you?
That would be really awful.
Like, were you the popular kid in school?
No.
I think you were. You were the head of the sorority. You talk about that all the time.
I don't talk about that all the time. I talk about it when it's relevant.
So you were president.
I think I've mentioned it like once.
So if you went to school and everybody hated you, or
It
you
wouldn't be
felt
fun.
you felt like everybody hated
It
you,
wouldn't be
because
fun.
we all know now as adults that like you really don't care. Like
Right.
that
Yeah, you get
nobody
over it.
cares.
But
and-
when you're like in high school,
Right.
the most important thing is being popular.
and when you're not cool, whatever. So everybody hates you in school. Then you go to a new school. There's optimism at your new school when you go there that people might actually like you.
It's a fresh start. It's a new slate.
And so you got the wife of the radio DJ, the Nico Grimes, that's tweeting out how Tannehill sucks. Obviously didn't work out in Miami. Tannehill seems to be a good guy, but then all of a sudden Tannehill, whatever, and so then he leaves. He gets a fresh start here. Takes over at quarterback. Nobody here hated him. People liked him. I mean, they were indifferent. They kind of thought team sucked, kind of figured they were going anywhere. Then he takes them. They go to the AFC Championship game. Everybody likes him. Then he has a great season. Everybody likes him. Then, and I'm putting myself in Tannehill's shoes, Julio Jones gets hurt. You didn't bring me a tight end. This offensive coordinator isn't as good as the last offensive coordinator. My running back gets hurt. My offensive line's a mess. And now everybody hates me again. And so if everybody hated me there at that school, and then I leave that school and I go to this school, and at first it was okay, but now everybody hates me, and I got $200 million in the bank, F it.
That's a horrendous mindset.
But does that not feel like a possibility of where Tannehill's head is right now?
I mean, it could, where he's like, you know what? I've given this team, this city so much. We went to the AFC Championship. I make a few mistakes. Now everybody hates me. I'll go enjoy my money because I have it no matter what. And I'll wipe my tears with my Benjamin.
Yes, like, you know what? We've had a nice run. We've done this for 10 years. We're going to go out and do our job. But then after that, we're done.
I don't know if that's how he thinks, but it could make sense.
I'm not ruling it out. Not with all of this. 615-737-1025 Fireball Hot Take Friday. My lifetime reaction. I'm going to do something that I usually reserve for the Predators. My lifetime reaction to my feelings on Tannehill's picture today while he's on vacation, while everybody else is working, and who I think it really disrespects. And it's not me. It's not the fans. It's not Vrabel, who I think it was intended for. We'll get to that next. Caroline, tell us about Caesars Sportsbook.
It is time for the Caesars Sportsbook report. So Caesars Sportsbook is giving out first bet insurance for all new users up to $1,100, which is a good bit of insurance. Download the app and use promo code RadioCZR, one word, RadioCZR, and then place your first bet. If you win, then congratulations, you just got a little bit richer, but if not, then you'll get your wager back as a free bet, so no harm, no foul there. And if you need something to put your first bet on, Caesars Sportsbook currently has an odds boost, an NBA Friday points parlay boost. So at plus 280 odds, you're looking at Trae Young, DeMar DeRozan, and Brandon Ingram each over 24.5 tonight. I think that's a pretty good odds boost, and I think that's a pretty good deal, and I think I might just do it. Must be 21 and physically present in Tennessee. New users only. Bet amount of qualifying wager returned only if a wager is settled as a loss. Paid as a single bet credit. Must be used within 14 days. See Caesars.com/promos for full terms. Gambling problem? Call or text the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789. Caesars Sportsbook. Download it, people.
The voice of reason.
If I'm the official, I would send both teams to the locker room and say, this is going to stop.
The voice of the fan.
Our entire team's a mash unit right now.
The voice of Nashville sports is your home of Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
This summer, saddle up in Smashville as the Music City hosts the hottest party of the summer, WWE SummerSlam. Nashville. For the first time ever at Nissan Stadium. A little bit country, a little bit rock and roll, a whole lot of kick-ass. WWE SummerSlam, Saturday, July 30th. Live worldwide from Music City's Nissan Stadium. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.
Genesis Diamond's once-a-year spring extravaganza is here this weekend. 3 days of phenomenal savings store-wide. You save up to 35% off Genesis already guaranteed best prices. Rings, earrings, bracelets, bands, and more. Plus special finance. You can even trade in your old jewelry for some amazing new designs from our world-class designers who flew in just for this. Extra savings on GIA certified diamonds, too. It's our biggest sale all year. This Friday through Sunday only. And only at Genesis Diamonds, Green Hills and Cool Springs. See store for details.
Listen to Stillman and Company with me, Caroline Fenton, all season long on ESPN 102.5 The Game for your chance to win Nashville Sounds tickets courtesy of 312 Pizza Company in Germantown.
Hey, Darren McFarland here, and I'm excited to tell you about my friends at Spring Hill Heating and Cooling. Spring is here. If your AC or heating unit is old and inefficient, then you need to take advantage of the Spring Hill Spring Special for a limited time only. Save up to $1,000 with Spring Hill Heating and Cooling. Get a York unit that lasts with a 10-year parts and labor warranty with up to 60 months no-interest financing on all York units. Restrictions do apply. Schedule now at springhillac.com. Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, a York certified comfort expert company.
Hey, Nashville, it's Chase McKay, Program Director of ESPN 102.5 The Game, and there's a new way that you can hear Nashville's best sports talk. It's on 106.3 FM. From downtown Nashville to Spring Hill on I-65 and to Murfreesboro on I-24, you now have two choices to hear our great sports talk programming. And, of course, the Nashville Predators. Check out 106.3 now and save it as a preset.
From the Hillside Medical Game Studios, WPRT-FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne, broadcasting 97.5 Murfreesboro, 106.3 Williamson County,
ESPN
102.5 The Game, and the Game Nashville app.
A Cromwell Media Station.
Live from the Game Nashville studios, it's Stillman and Company. Delivered by TriStar Moving. TriStar Movers with 5-star service. With Jared Stillman on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Stillman and Company is delivered by TriStar Moving. ESPN 102.5 The Game, streaming live on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook Live. Thanks to the law offices of Amanda Gentry, live from the Hillside Medical Game Studios. Fireball Hot Take Friday. So today, I was sitting there minding my own business, and I saw on Instagram, and I follow Tannehill on Instagram, I follow Tannehill on Twitter. I actually saw it because Luke Warsham of A to Z Sports posted it and said something like, oh, this will go over well. And it is a picture of Ryan Tannehill. Off-season workout started Monday. Tannehill is absent. It was a mega story on this show Monday. It was a mega story in town Monday night and Tuesday. Probably think that probably goes hand in hand. And then yesterday, Vrabel was asked about it. We talked about it, whatever. Today, Ryan Tannehill posts a picture of him on his boat with Celsius energy drink, and he is recharged on his very expensive fishing boat, I would assume in the Atlantic Ocean. It's definitely not the Pacific Ocean. And so there's Tannehill on his fishing boat. There's marlin, tuna, mahi-mahi, grouper.
Whatever
Who cares?
It is.
And so
it's a nice little fishing reel, though.
When I saw that, I was obviously incensed because of how stupid I thought this was and how bad this looked. And I said earlier today, I think, he heard what Vrabel said yesterday, which wasn't much, but it was enough to know that Vrabel wasn't happy. And I think he decided to take his middle finger square out of his pocket and stick it right in Mike Vrabel's face, which I think is a big issue worth discussing at some point. But this is what I was thinking, because I do approach issues like this. I understand. It's very easy for everybody to pretend that they have other people's jobs. I can't tell you how often I hear people say, our radio show would do better than your radio show, so they should give us your radio show. Why you're on the air, we don't know. And it's like, try. Like, here take my headset here. Try. Because it's kind of difficult. But I try to put myself in the shoes of the people that own these teams sometimes. And I've said this with the Predators a bunch. If I owned the team, this is what I would do. If I owned the Titans and I saw that picture today, and I know it's voluntary work, and I can't make any player think it's mandatory, and I can't tell any player they have to be here, and I can't make it a big deal, and I can't this, and I can't that. But if I was Amy Adams Strunk, if I owned this football team and I saw that picture, which is basically like saying, F work, I'm on vacation, I would pick up the phone and I would call John Robinson and I would say, I want a meeting in your office in 15 minutes and I want it with you and I want it with the head of college scouting and I want it with Mike Vrabel and I want it to be the four of us. And I'm going in there and saying, tell me about these quarterbacks in the draft. Because that's enough for me. There's one thing about optics. Another thing that I don't think is brought up enough is attitude. What is Ryan Tannehill's attitude? If Ryan Tannehill doesn't show up to lead the team at the opening of offseason workouts, is your attitude that you're committed to winning? Because I'm committed to paying you $91 million when you factor in the last 2 weeks or the last 2 years and this year. I paid you $91 million. My people, which I approved because I write the checks, picked you over Tom freaking Brady. You have blown 2 playoff games in a row. You cost me millions throwing that ball to the Bengals 3 times. You might have cost me a Super Bowl. My dad owned this team for 50 years, and he never won a Super Bowl. And you might have cost me a Super Bowl. And for you to sit here while everybody else is working and we're trying to win the Super Bowl next year and we're trying to lead and we want you to be a leader and we haven't said a bad word about you. For you to post that picture is so disrespectful to Amy Adams Strunk. And the attitude of, I'm on vacation, while everybody else is at work, while I'm watching the Indianapolis Colts post pictures on Twitter and Instagram of Matt Ryan in a Colts hoodie, and I'm saying, tell me about the quarterbacks in the draft. Let's talk about this. Let's. You know what? If it's not important enough to you to be here, it's so important for you to tell everybody you're on vacation. Let's start thinking about quarterbacks in the draft. Now, the one thing that I've said, if I ever owned a team and, maybe one day, if I ever owned a sports team, the one thing I'd do is I'd hire a general manager and I'd say, hey, you're the general manager. And you're my general manager and you make the football decisions or the baseball decisions or the basketball decisions. You make the decisions until the day I tell you you don't make them anymore. I don't make the decisions, you make them. But the one thing you're going to have to understand is that when we lose, it is you that I'm going to talk to. I'm not going down to the locker room. I'm not going to talk to the players. I'm not going to get on the players. I'm not going to tweet about the players. I'm not going to do it. The players, it's going to be, hey, good to see you, Johnny. How you been? Oh, yeah, that's good. How's your wife doing? Good, good. Okay, fine. Not going to get on the coaches. That's your job. But I'm going to get on you. But in this case, it's quarterback. And it would take everything in me. John Robinson, if I own the team, John Robinson would have to literally lay out. And this is what I said after the Cincinnati game, which was if I was sitting in my owner's box, I would watch that and I'd go downstairs the next morning and say, John, what can we do at quarterback? And I would have wanted to be in on Aaron. I would have wanted to be in on Russell. I would have been in on wanting to tamper to try to lure in Tom Brady. But I'd be saying today, John, what do we think of quarterbacks? What do we think we have to do? Because it's really the owner who makes those big calls. You don't trade up to 7 overall and what it would take for you to get from 26 to 7 to go get Kenny Pickett. You don't do that if the owner's not okay with it. And that would be the discussion today. That's how mad I was at that Tannehill picture. And again, I haven't paid Tannehill $1. If I owned the team, there would be, I think, a very obvious threat, which would be the owner's not happy. And you wouldn't hear it from me because, again, that's against the league rules. But I think it would be known to everybody inside the building that I was very unhappy about that picture. And then I asked this question to you. How should Amy Adams Strunk feel? If you owned the team and you were this close to what you thought was a Super Bowl, and that one guy cost you the game, but you still got his back. You haven't said a single word about him. You're busy trying to get a new stadium built. You're trying to win people over, and he's posting vacation pictures while everybody else is at work. How would you feel?
I would feel disrespected. I would feel a little bit betrayed because we said, Ryan Tannehill could be sitting back and enjoying his money on his boat on the beach.
That's the money I gave you.
That's Amy Adams Strunk's money.
Yeah.
And that's the frustrating thing, is that she invested in Ryan Tannehill's contract because Mike Vrabel and John Robinson believed in him. So it's pretty much taking the trust and the investment that Mike Vrabel, John Robinson, and financially Amy Adams Strunk made into him and saying, look, I thank you for everything that you've given to me because I'm enjoying it right now. And does Ryan Tannehill, is he doing that? Is he just sitting back and enjoying his money and saying, you know what, I'll kick my feet up and I'll just do what I need to do to quarterback this team, and I don't really feel like going above and beyond? Maybe, maybe not, but we don't know. Mm-hmm. All we have is to go off of the information that we have, and that's not showing up to practice because he's on a boat and he's posting a picture from the boat, and that feels like a big middle finger.
Oh, and especially the fact that it's an ad would piss me off if I owned the team.
Yeah, you need more money.
Exactly.
I'm not going to pocket watch. Like, he can do whatever ads he wants to do. I don't care.
It would piss me off that I don't need to be at work because I'm trying to film a commercial over here. I'd have a problem with that. Now, look, if you're Tom Brady and you've won me 6 Super Bowls, we could, that's different. I mean, look, Robert Kraft gave Tom Brady the contract that voided at the end of the year and did not allow the Patriots to apply any tags. He gave that to Brady because he felt like Brady had earned the right to leave New England on his own terms. Kraft, at times, has regretted that decision over the last couple of years. But that's what he did because of how much he loved Tom Brady.
You build up trust.
Agreed.
And you can also break down trust. And I think that's what Ryan Tannehill did a little bit of, was he earned a lot of trust of people, and then he broke some trust with people. And that should be your priority as a leader, to build that trust back up again.
And I got to tell you, if I walk in and it's Robinson, Vrabel, and whoever's the college scouting director, and I go in there, I'm like, this picture made me so mad that if we want to draft Kenny Pickett, or if we got to move up, like, what do we think of these quarterbacks? Well, Ritter, he's not that good, so we're not interested in him. Corral's too little, we're not interested in him. Willis is too raw, we'd have to move up to get him. He'd have to sit on the bench for a year, but maybe he'll be okay. We might be interested in him. What would it take to get Willis? Well, we'd have to deal next year this, and we'd have to. Okay? Let's keep that in mind for Thursday. That would lead my way. Now, look, there's a chance that they may know who they want to pick or have an idea of what they want to pick, and quarterback may not be a part of it. Mm-hmm. And if that's the case, again, I'm not the general manager. I'm the owner. And if that's the case and John's like, no, Mr. Stillman, like, we're really focused, on these 3 interior offensive linemen that we think will be available with our pick, at least one of the 3 we assume will be there. We think all of them can be 10-year starters that go to the Pro Bowl. That you could talk me out of that.
That very well could be the case.
That's your job.
Yeah.
That's your job to know that. But I would feel incredibly disrespected at Ryan Tannehill with that picture today. Your reaction to it, your thoughts. How would you feel if you owned the team, if Ryan Tannehill posted that? 615-737-1025 is our phone number, 615-737-1025. Plus, there was another thing about Tannehill that was discussed yesterday, and I wonder if this is what has Tannehill upset and why Tannehill posted that photo, which, again, I believe was totally out of being upset. We'll get to that next. Stillman and Company on a Fireball Hot Take Friday. Join 1025 The Game tomorrow night for the Preds Bud Light Watch Party at Headquarters Beercade. Drink specials, enter to win Preds tickets, and watch the Predators take on the Tampa Bay Lightning. It's the Preds Bud Light Watch Party at Headquarters Beercade, located at 114 2nd Avenue South, downtown. Puck drops at 6 o'clock tomorrow. Stillman and Company, it's ESPN 1025 The Game.
Here they come, turn 4.
Hey, it's Chase McCabe. Join me for Chasing Checkers every Sunday morning at 8 as we talk all the big stories in NASCAR, IndyCar, and the motor racing world. We'll also talk to some of the big names in the sport. It's Chasing Checkers, presented by Apple Collision Centers and the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway on ESPN 1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
There's a revolutionary new way to stop mosquitoes in their tracks. Go to tiredofmosquitoes.com to see this amazing technology. There's never been anything like it before. Tiredofmosquitoes.com.
Gary Ashton here. I love hearing people say, don't sell without the intel, because it means they're really embracing our message. Now's a great time to sell your home in Nashville, but you need the intel only the Gary Ashton team can provide. Intel that helps you sell your home without any staging or showings. Intel to find your next home so you can sell your current one while the market's hot. Intel to win the buyer battle and cash in on your home equity now. Let everyone else get the same information and compete for the same properties, while you get the Intel edge with the Gary Ashton team. the official real estate team for your Tennessee Titans. And if you're looking for a great career, join our team. We added 65 new agents last year, and we want you to join us this year. Remember, don't sell without the intel. And if you're looking for a great career, the Gary Ashton team wants you in 2022. Call 615-301-1650 or visit GaryAshton.com today.
Family Leisure invites you to vacation at home with your family with a new spa, pool, patio furniture, or wood play gym this summer.
I really want a spa.
Family Leisure has 40 spas on display from 3 of the biggest brand names: Artesian, Best Spas, and American Select. Prices starting as low as $29.99.
What about above ground pools?
Family Leisure has hundreds of pools in stock and on sale. Guaranteed installation before Memorial Day, starting as low as $29.99. Install.
Wow, that's great.
If you're looking at a spa, I want some new patio furniture. Family Leisure has patio furniture from all the big brand names like Hanneman, Woodard, Jensen, and Apricity. There's more than 100 sets on display to choose from with free delivery.
That sounds good to me too. And maybe a new Sabre infrared grill to go with it.
We really should look at the wood play gym for the kids. Family Leisure has the Diamond Point swing set on sale at only $24.99 installed. It's Family Leisure's Vacation at Home sale going on now at both huge locations, Franklin and Antioch.
Men, what if I told you that now you're able to get testosterone replacement therapy in the comfort of your own home? No more weekly trips to the doctor's office. We come to you 7 days a week, 12 hours a day. Be seen by a licensed medical professional in the privacy and comfort of your own home or office. You decide. Schedule your appointment today at CoolSpringsMDformen.com.
Hey, Nashville, it's Chase McKay, Program Director of ESPN 1025 The Game, and there's a new way that you can hear Nashville's best sports talk. It's on 106.3 FM. From downtown Nashville to Spring Hill on I-65 and to Murfreesboro on I-24, you now have 2 choices to hear our great sports talk programming. And, of course, the Nashville Predators. Check out 106.3 now and save it as a preset.
If you've missed any of today's show, just search Stillman and Company on Apple, Spotify, or your favorite podcast platform.
Not having a second round pick, how competitive you guys were last year. If you took a quarterback, say with your first round pick, and that quarterback sitting on the bench, could you guys afford to do that given how competitive the team is right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think those are hypotheticals, and those are scenarios that we talk about. Is like, if this, then what's the overall plan, and how is that going to impact the football team? We work through those scenarios. At the end of the day, we try to do what's best for the football team. And to Luke's question, you're looking certainly at the short term in the window, but you're also looking at the long game as well when you're adding players to your team.
That was John Robinson yesterday when I asked, hey, could you draft a quarterback 26th and get nothing from the quarterback and nothing from the second round pick this year? And you're competitive, you just were the number 1 seed. Like, can you afford to do that? And John didn't say no. And that's the one thing about a lot of these press conferences is they never say anything truly of substance, but it's sometimes what they don't say that people circle.
The fact that the door is always left just a little bit open for any sort of possibility.
He definitely didn't shoot down the idea, because I asked specifically about quarterback right there, and he didn't shoot it down. And I wonder, again, Tannehill posts a vacation picture that, again, has the protective shield that, it was sponsored, I had to post because I had to. But, again, the team's working. Tom Brady doesn't post his bull crap when it's inappropriate to post. Like, everything he posts, he tags every player on the offensive line all the time. He's always tagging teammates. Brady understands that, the Brady social media, there is,
it'll be dissected.
There's a power level to it. Chandler Jones got mad at Kyler Murray because Kyler Murray didn't follow him on Twitter. So he unfollowed Kyler, and he told the media about that. And I'm like, let me see. Brady follows Chandler Jones on Twitter. They were teammates. So
it means something.
Again, the shield of Tannehill, that has nothing to do with it. He's just paying Bill. He's just you're the CEO. You're the CEO of the offense. You're the CEO of your life. You're the CEO of your social media. But that Robinson didn't shoot down talking about quarterbacks yesterday. In fact, I even asked him directly about how do you have the conversation with a guy when you bring in somebody else, and then I asked him about Tannehill specifically. Here's that interaction yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, I think you have that conversation with the player. We've done that before. We've taken a player at a position that we had and was a veteran player, and at the end of the day, I had a conversation with the player that was on the team. He understood, like, that's what it is. Again, we tell the players, like, we're trying to create as much competition as possible at every position, and trying to put the team in the best position to go win football games. But it's just transparency and conversation, upfrontness, with the player, as we have done in the past at other positions.
You think Ryan would be okay with that?
I haven't had that conversation with. I don't know who we're going to pick yet, Jared.
So you see Robinson got a little pissed off.
Yeah, you didn't like that question.
But I want to know.
You didn't get a J like Teron gets a T.
Well, John
You
Robinson,
got a Jared.
John Robinson and I have a very complicated relationship. Really like John Robinson. We obviously have somebody very close to both of us as a kind of mutual friend.
Uh-huh.
But I mean, I'm loud and yell, so and he traded a second-round pick for Julio Jones. It comes and goes. I like Robinson. I don't know exactly how Robinson feels about me, but I like Robinson. More importantly, on that front, do you think that Tannehill could be pissed about that? About the fact that yesterday, this draft process between the combine and this, John has talked more about quarterbacks than he ever has. It very easily, some of this is he's just asked about quarterbacks more now because it's more obvious to anyone with half a brain that the Titans should be looking at these quarterbacks in the draft. But I also think, it would have been very easy for him to shoot down, though. Well, why would we be looking for a quarterback with a 26th pick when we have our quarterback? If you were to ask Andy Reid that question of, Andy, with the extra first-round pick, could you see yourself looking for another quarterback? Andy would be like,
Patrick's our quarterback.
What are you talking about? And John wasn't that way there. I do wonder if Tannehill's mad at the team. Because, and we'll use AJ as an example. Everything the Titans have said about AJ, on the record, off the record, has just been glowing. It's been almost repulsive to what we know of Vrabel and Robinson, but mushy. We care about him. We love him. He's our friend. He's our buddy. He's awesome. He's great. We're not going to trade him. We love him. Don't foresee it, whatever. Diana Rossini. And yet, AJ's mad at the Titans. You know what I mean?
Well,
so,
AJ is a money thing.
I know.
Words don't mean much when you're not going to pay up.
But Floyd said 2 things players care about: money, playing time. The only thing they care about. Mm-hmm. Quarterback especially, because there's only one quarterback who plays. Knock on wood. There's only one quarterback. And so if you draft a quarterback, when Robinson said, oh, yeah, we had discussions with guys in the past, I interpreted that as when they drafted Jeffrey Simmons. Like when he said, well, we've drafted guys before and we've had to, talk to veteran players and get them to understand. And I think it was we drafted Jeffrey Simmons and we had to call Jarrell
He
Casey.
came with a little bit of baggage.
Well, it wasn't Simmons' baggage that mattered.
It was the fact that they were drafting.
Jarrell Casey was the team leader, and they drafted a defensive tackle.
Yeah.
And so that's what I think he was referring to there. Well, how did the Casey story end? Because Casey knows when you draft Simmons, they just drafted your replacement. And so Robinson tries to tell Casey, this isn't about him being your replacement. We're really focused on this season. I highly doubt John Robinson told Jarrell Casey, yeah, we drafted Jeffrey Simmons, and ultimately this time next year we're going to trade you to Denver for a 7th-round pick.
No.
He did not tell him that. So whatever he told him probably wasn't what he wanted to hear. But it's different at quarterback because there's only one quarterback. So if you draft Matt Corral next week, Matt Corral is the future of the Tennessee Titans.
Yes.
At that point, the conversation with Ryan is much different than the conversation with Casey, even though you had the conversation with Casey, now you have the conversation with Ryan. Kyle Shanahan had the conversation with Jimmy G. Andy Reid had the conversation with Alex Smith, and they handled it like pros. I don't know how Tannehill will handle it. I have to be honest with you. When you look back at the offseason that we have discussed quite a bit about Tannehill's lack of availability, lack of transparency, you know what I'm most floored by still to this day?
What?
The Bengals post-game press conference.
The locker cleanout day?
No.
Or the press conference itself?
After the game. I fully expected him to get up there and be like, I cost my team the season.
Mm-hmm.
Not because that was the truth, which it was, but because that's what the guy is always
You
supposed
take accountability.
to do. When you don't cost your team the game, then it's we didn't get it done. When you cost your team the game and you're the leader, it's I didn't get it done. Belichick has gone into meetings and told players, like, I didn't coach very well. Talk.
Bless you. I mean, and I think that's the frustrating thing is that I don't understand is can he not see the outcome of his actions? Not taking accountability for the loss.
I agree.
Not speaking the next day. Not showing up to voluntary workouts. Posting that picture. Like, your actions have a reaction. And whenever you're the leader and the quarterback of a team, like, that has a lot of weight on your team, on your coach, on your general manager. So there have been so many things throughout this offseason that just leads me to believe that either Ryan Tannehill doesn't care or he doesn't see that what he is doing is incredibly irresponsible behavior.
Which one do you think it is? You have to pick one.
Why do I have to pick one?
Because it has to be one or the other.
Well, I don't know.
So you got to say.
I don't have to do anything.
Do you think that either he is unaware or do you think he is unapologetic?
I think that you have to be so incredibly up your own butt to not realize what he's doing. So I think it would probably be the latter. He doesn't care.
Do you think that he's unapologetic or that he's unaware?
For the picture, Tannehill?
Yes. Well, all of it, but yes.
Mostly unaware.
How?
I mean, I'm still not convinced that this picture is a recent picture. Like,
it doesn't.
If
See, I don't care when the picture
If
was
it was
taken.
like an ad campaign and this was taken all back in February where the first picture was taken with the drink in the sand, if they're all like taken in the same week and they're just strategically placing them throughout some type of ad campaign, like maybe they should have thought of that beforehand as far as the timing and the off-season program, but I'm still not convinced that's not the case.
See,
be aware.
I'm not convinced that Tom Brady doesn't know what's being posted from his accounts. I don't think he does the posting, but I think Tom Brady's aware of what they're doing. I don't think you see posts from Tom Brady that Tom Brady hasn't looked at.
Probably not. No, I mean, it's his account.
And I think there's a time and a place for a lot of this stuff. And I think, for Tom Brady, like, that matters. I think it's half and half. I think that some of this stuff's the unaware. I think that the Titans just got together, the star players of the Titans, and I think this really, really ticks off Vrabel, is that his players would think like this.
Mm-hmm.
I think they all got together and said, what do you think? You think we should show up the first week?
I don't think they all got together.
Oh, no, I think it was, are you going? No, I'm not going. I'd rather just work here in Dallas. Oh, okay, are you going? No, I'm not going. Well, you know what? They're not going. So we'll just, this week, we'll let the new guys get acquainted. We'll let Frank get the strength and conditioning staff out. We're going to work with our own guys. But then, the next week, once it starts to get a little serious, we'll be there. And I think that just a rod.
Once it starts to get serious.
Well, I think it's like one guy to the next guy to the next guy. So there's just, whatever, those guys aren't here. And I think that is a freaking metal rod up Vrabel's keister. I think it drives Vrabel nuts. I think Vrabel's guys should want to race to be allowed back into the building. Not, you going to be there
But
this
I
week?
think that
No,
starts with
no,
Tannehill.
No.
When you're at the top, it's all a trickle down. If they did do that, if they're all in a group text, are you going? Ryan says, yes, I'm going. I expect to see all of you there. I'm sure they're there.
I think there's probably something to that. To your phones next. 615-737-1025 is the phone number, but you don't think it's about the talking about a quarterback.
I don't think so.
I don't know what it is. 615-737-1025. Tune in for Sounds Baseball tonight on ESPN 94.9 as the Sounds take on the Charlotte Knights, a AAA affiliate of the Chicago White Sox, at First Horizon Park. Pre-game with Jeff Him is at 6:20, and the first pitch is at 6:35. Sounds Baseball on ESPN 94.9, presented by 312 Pizza Company, Farm Bureau Health Plans, and Spirited Hive. This weekend, Saturday, 6:35, Sunday, 2:05, and it's all on ESPN 94.9.
Hey, this is Phil Forsberg. And this is Smashville.
Forsberg a shot, broken up in front, give it back to Forsberg, and here come the hat.
You're listening to the flagship of the Nashville Predators radio network, ESPN 1025 The Game.
Hi guys, it's Andrew with Hillside Medical Clinic. Is erectile dysfunction damaging your relationship? Are you sick of the pill and all the side effects? Well, welcome to the future. We have a major medical breakthrough. Hillside Medical Clinic uses the most advanced form of wave therapy. Backed by 60 clinical studies, our technology uses pressure waves to repair and open up blood vessels. We've helped countless men get rid of their ED. But what is the true end result? Their relationship, even their lives, improve drastically. If you're ready to regain your love life, call us right now, and not only will the assessment and ultrasound be free, we'll also give you a gift that produces immediate results in the bedroom. It almost never fails. This is worth $550, and it's free to callers right now. 615-576-5000. That's 615-576-5000. Put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and experience what I call the happiness ripple effect. Call Hillside Medical Clinic now, 615-576-5000.
The racing, the big one, the camping, it's all just bigger at Talladega. And with a doubleheader on Saturday and the premiere of the next-gen cars on Sunday, it's just going to keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. NASCAR's biggest and baddest track is back. The Talladega NASCAR Weekend, April 23rd through the 24th. Get your tickets now at TalladegaSuperspeedway.com.
Realizing Geico's great service and licensed agents are available at your fingertips is like realizing the plastic piece that comes with your pizza isn't a tiny doll table. It's to keep the box from touching the pizza.
Hey, the pizza's stuck to the box. Where's that little plastic thing?
Dolly needed it for her tea party.
It's something that's been right there in front of you all along, like the dedicated Geico claims team available to you in the event of an accident to get you back on the road quickly, or how your smartphone charges faster when you put it on airplane mode.
Wow, what if I put it on rocket mode?
It's something you can't believe you never realized before, like how Geico's industry-leading app lets you pay your bill, file a claim, manage your policy, or summon help when you need it. Or how those holes in your shower caddy are there so you can store your shampoo bottles upside down.
Showers happen fast when you're not waiting on shampoo.
Great service. It's just one of the many reasons to switch to Geico. They're all right there in front of you.
It's watching the top players take the ice. It's hard-fought games that end in victory. It's showing your favorite team to your favorite people. Secure your seats for the 2022-23 Nashville Predators season today to ensure you never miss a game at Bridgestone Arena. Plus, enjoy Nashville locker room discounts, exclusive presale offers, and more. Visit NashvillePredators.com/season tickets. Join the Loyal Legion today and paint the town Preds. That's NashvillePredators.com/season tickets. NashvillePredators.com/season tickets.
The sounds. Play ball.
Back to Brothers. He's got it. Goes to second one. Turn to first. Double play.
The Nashville Sounds continue their homestand at First Horizon Park against the Charlotte Knights.
Swing and a miss. Strike three. Sounds win.
Coverage begins at 6:20 on your home for the Sounds.
ESPN
94.9 and the Game Nashville app.
What's up, Nashville? This is Stephen A. Smith. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
More important, Mike, for Ryan Tannehill to be here? Actually, for both of you, that question. Is he missing anything of real value here, not being here right now?
I've had communications with Ryan. Again, as the head coach, I want every single player here. I would love to see that happen. Had communications with Ryan, and I'm comfortable where those are at, and expect him back here pretty shortly.
There you go. That was Vrabel, and the tone of Vrabel did not feel very comfortable there.
No, it did not.
Do you think there's trouble brewing between Vrabel and Tannehill?
It sounds like it. And I don't know the intention behind Tannehill's post. And you believe that it's a middle finger to Vrabel. I don't know if I'm completely there yet. I'm not ruling that out as a possibility. But we've heard from Vrabel, and he doesn't sound very happy.
I think Vrabel is frustrated at Tannehill because I think he thinks Tannehill's a softie. And I think
Or do you think that because you think Tannehill's a softie?
No, I think it's because Vrabel probably compares everybody in it. Don't you think Vrabel compares every quarterback in his head? And not the way they play, but the way they do their business.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you think he compares every quarterback in his head to Tom Brady?
See, I have a hard time with that because I don't know if you just do that with Tom Brady.
But he won championships with Tom Brady.
Yes. And he's also worked with a lot of different quarterbacks as well.
So this is Vrabel's career off the top of my head.
Okay.
Vrabel's career, Cordell Stewart in Pittsburgh, and we know Cordell, and I like Cordell because Cordell's a good guy, but
not a great quarterback.
I mean, the preparation about Cordell and Bill Cowher back in the day is the opposite of Brady. Then there's Bledsoe, and Bledsoe, from what I've been told and what I've read, Bledsoe did the job, but Bledsoe didn't go above and beyond to doing the job. and that Bledsoe was good, but that Bledsoe, they kept waiting for Bledsoe to kick it into that next gear. Kind of like how Matthew Stafford probably kicked it into that next gear once he got to the Rams. Like they were kind of waiting for Bledsoe to kick it into that next gear.
Right.
So, and then he wasn't even there that long, I don't believe, with Bledsoe, because then Bledsoe got hurt, Brady came in. Then there's Brady. Then Matt Castle. Then he leaves the league. College doesn't count because, they're all 19. Pros, he's with the Texans, and they had Patriot quarterbacks, and then they brought in Deshaun, then here with Marcus, then with Tannehill. So those are the quarterbacks that Vrabel has been around.
Mm-hmm.
I've told you the story about Brian Hoyer, right?
I don't know.
Okay, so I was told, and I think we can all agree that my Patriot sourcing between the years of 2009 and 2013, pretty good. I was told that Brian Hoyer, for an entire year, did everything that Tom Brady did. He worked out like Tom. He ate like Tom. He watched as much film as Tom. He practiced as much as Tom. He did everything that Tom did. He did it. He mimicked him for an entire year. And yet he's still Brian Hoyer. But remember, Bill O'Brien, who brought Vrabel into the NFL, Bill O'Brien, when he got to Houston, who did he make his quarterback? Brian Hoyer. Who did Belichick bring in? When they lost Tom Brady, they brought in Cam Newton too, and they had Jarrett Stidham, but they brought in Brian Hoyer. There's a comfort level with Hoyer because of how Hoyer goes about his business, which is he goes about his business like Brady. He's just not as good as Brady. I think that the standard that Vrabel holds Tannehill to is probably the standard of how Tannehill handles his business, not how Tannehill plays. I don't think he expects Ryan Tannehill to be Tom Brady, the player. I think he expects the professionalism and how he goes about his business. I think he expects that to be like Tom Brady. And we've talked about the stories about the early days of the Patriots, which was they were trying to get everybody to do extra work all the time. They worked harder than everybody else. One time we were doing a pregame show. And I don't know if you've ever done pregame shows for the worst team in the NFL, but it is difficult. And the Titans are playing the Patriots, and Zach Mettenberger was starting at quarterback because Mariota was hurt. And the Titans, I think, lost that game by about a score of 865-0.
Close one.
And so before we do the pregame show, or maybe it was during the pregame show, I can't remember, I said to Floyd, I go, like, what makes the Patriots so special that everybody else can't? And he's like, they just know everything. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, if Belichick has the same guys that you have, he teaches them more. He goes, think about it like history class. And let's say that you in history class, you knew everything about George Bush. They know everything about all the presidents. I'm like, what? But then I watched the Man in the Arena documentary. And Vince Wilfork talked about Belichick. And he says, Belichick makes them learn so much that quarterbacks will be at the line of scrimmage and they'll be calling out protections and they'll be saying things that they'll just say, hey, waggle up front over, whatever it is. And that most defensive linemen don't know what that is. And that Wilfork knows the quarterback's going to the line thinking, defensive lineman. And Wilfork knows exactly what he's saying. Because he studied offense, because Bill makes defense study offense, and the other way around. Well, that's where Vrabel comes from. So that comes from you put in all the work, and you put it in here. You put it in this facility. We live in this thing. It's miserable, but we're all doing it to win a championship. And there you are fishing on your boat. That is not handling your business like Tom Brady that Vrabel knew. The current Brady, yes. But the Brady that Vrabel knew, the Patriot Brady, that's not how you handle your business. And I wonder with Tannehill if he maybe feels like the coaching staff held him out to dry last year, because I wonder, he'll never tell you this, but you wonder if his relationship with Downing is the same as his relationship with Arthur, or if he thought that changes need to be made, or whatever. I don't know. But if there's a problem brewing on the Vrabel front with Tannehill, that could be something to keep an eye on. What do we have in our phone line? 615-737-1025.
One texter texts in and says, could it be that Tannehill didn't like the tweet from AJ about Mariota being the best leader he knows? And now Tannehill is like, the hell with it.
What did we say? When I asked you the question, how is Tannehill supposed to feel? And you said, he's supposed to show that he's the best leader, that he's the... And I said, that's not what I asked. How's he supposed to feel? I said, probably feels hurt when he saw that tweet.
Probably
Even
bad.
though AJ, sometimes it feels like tweets without thinking. AJ clarified it. AJ replied to Derek. The initial hurt him. This is the best leader I've ever been around. It also probably brings back the idea, was AJ telling the truth there off of what we've seen out of Tannehill? I mean, Corey Curtis today was all over Tannehill about a leader. Like, I asked the question of, are you concerned about Tannehill's leadership, or I forget how I made it. And I was expecting Corey to, how I say like things and then people in the media get all high and upset about it. I was expecting Corey to do that. Even though Corey doesn't really do that, I was expecting him to do that. And he was like, yeah, I'm worried about his leadership.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go back to that AJ tweet. What's that?
I mean, I think it's a legitimate concern. And the fact that we've had a few things in the past 4 months come up to be like kind of a red flag.
Like things that quarterbacks just don't do.
Yes. Like not doing a press conference on locker cleanout day after you throw 3 interceptions. That is one of them.
Yes, like that's what quarterbacks do. When you cost your team the game as a quarterback, you take the blame. You know who doesn't handle things right? Baker Mayfield. Like, that's what that is. And that
is why Deshaun Watson is now the quarterback of the Cleveland Browns.
Well, I don't think that's why Deshaun Watson's the quarterback of the Cleveland Browns. I don't think Cleveland ever had a problem with Baker's attitude. I think they had a problem with the fact that Baker didn't win them enough games.
Well, Baker does have a pretty good attitude. I do have to give him that.
No, he's got a bad attitude. He's always defiant. He's always bitching. He's always...
I don't know.
Baker's got a bad attitude. Baker's bad. Like, Baker is a know-it-all. Baker is... I mean, look, if Baker didn't have a bad attitude...
Baker played with a hurt shoulder.
Right. But if Baker had a good attitude...
Pretty good.
If Baker had the reputation of having a good attitude in this league, somebody would trade for him right now.
I think that Baker just is like kind of has like a bad boy type of personality that people just paint him in a really bad light.
Yeah. He's got the attitude of an a-hole. And that's what people don't want, especially when you're not Tom Brady. That goes back to Vrabel. I don't think Vrabel...
Well, yes, winning solves a lot of things, but I don't think Baker
Vrabel,
Mayfield was the only reason why that team wasn't winning.
I don't think that either. But again, I think Baker's not there because they weren't winning. Like, well, Baker can only carry us so far. And then I think Baker rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. Baker still rubs people the wrong way. I mean, you saw Indianapolis when Indy had no quarterback. And they were waiting for something to happen. Now, credit them because it happened. But they were waiting for something to fall to them. And they didn't know what it was going to be. It might have been Jameis Winston. It might have been Marcus. It might have been, and they probably knew in the back of their minds, like, if we have to, we can sign Mariota. Or if we have to, we can sign Winston. But, let's see if, how this all plays out. And they got lucky with Matt Ryan. But remember when Baker said goodbye before Deshaun picked Cleveland, it was coming out that Baker wants to go to Indianapolis. And Indianapolis, who just had Carson Wentz, wanted no part of Baker Mayfield.
Do you not think the injury in the contract also has something to do with that?
No.
He's hurt and he's expensive.
But he's young.
Why would you take
that
on?
Anymore. He's not hurt anymore.
He just had surgery.
Right. So he's not hurt anymore.
Are you going to take a quarterback and pay him, how much does he make? $18 million a year?
Before I take
just coming off
old man
surgery?
Matt Ryan for $35 or whatever it is? I mean, they're taking
He's not hurt.
They're taking
He's still playing.
They're taking old man Matt Ryan.
Well, that's not the first time they've taken an old quarterback.
But it's the first time that they've taken an old man. And the reason that they're taking this...
it's not.
It's actually the second time. Well, it's
Yes.
the first reason why they took the Phillip Rivers.
Yes.
Why? Because he's a good leader. Why they get rid of Carson Wentz? Because he's a bad leader.
A
Why
lot
they
of
get
reasons.
Matt
Because he's a
Ryan?
bad quarterback and
No.
a bad leader, and
the
owner
stats.
hates him.
Why does the owner hate him?
Because he didn't want to get vaccinated.
He's a bad leader. He was encouraging other people to not get vaccinated. Look at the stats. Look at Carson Wentz's stats.
I'm not arguing
And
with you that
compare
he's a
him
bad
with
leader.
Matt Ryan. He infinitely had a better season last year statistically. Now, I mean, again, I think Wentz sucks. But he had an infinitely better season statistically than Matt Ryan did. He beat like 5 more playoff teams than Matt Ryan did. There is not a single, if you just look at box scores, which I don't do, but if you just look at box scores, there is not a single element that you can say Matt Ryan is better than Carson Wentz. And yet, he is better than Carson Wentz, and the leadership angle is a big part of this. So Indy didn't want to get rid of Carson Wentz to go bring in a guy with the reputation of being a bad leader. The injury doesn't bother them, but and the money is way less, 18.85 than you would pay for a quarterback. It was quarterback. Those guys are making $30 million, $40 million a year now. And nobody wants Baker because they think he's a bad leader, which goes back to, I think Vrabel, again, he's not asking Tannehill to be Brady the player. He's asking Tannehill to carry himself like Brady. And Tannehill, for whatever reason, is not doing it this year. It feels like every year along the way, Ian, back me up, it feels like every year along the way that we've known Tannehill, he's checked every box when it comes to this kind of stuff.
Feels like it. He feels like a pretty team-first guy.
And this just feels so opposite of what we're used to. 615-737-1025. The one thing I'll say on this, because I've heard other people in the media say the opposite, and I think it's crazy, which I want to get to next, and then we're back to your phones. Don't miss Nashville's best draft coverage starting at 5 o'clock Thursday and Friday on 1025 The Game, presented by Social Furniture, Apple Collision Centers, Farm Bureau Health Plans, and the Nashville Sheriff's Office. Be sure to join us on site as 1025 The Game will be broadcasting live on Thursday from 3rd and Home, Germantown's Bar with a Ballpark, and on Friday from 312 Pizza Company in Germantown. You can watch all of our live coverage of the draft via 1025 The Game's Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Stillman & Company, it's ESPN 1025 The Game.
Hey, this is Andrew Allegretta, voice of the Vandy Boys. Listen to the Commodore Hour every Monday at 6 p.m. during the baseball season. Kevin Ingram and I talk with Coach Corbin and special guests on ESPN 94.9 and streaming on the VU Commodores mobile app.
From the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center.
I'm Fox 17 Code Red meteorologist Greg Bobus. Nothing to complain about this upcoming weekend. Nearly picture perfect. Low temperatures will be in the 50s tonight, and then Saturday and Sunday. Repeat days of high temperatures in the low to middle 80s and unlimited sunshine with a touch of humidity.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
The 2022 Major League Soccer season is officially here, and the Nashville SC Stadium nearly complete. Don't miss Nashville SC's home opener May 1st. Grab a seat at nashvillesc.com/22ticks.
Bank of England Mortgage has been helping Americans live the dream of home ownership for over 100 years. Since their humble beginnings in England, Arkansas in 1898, they've grown into a nationwide mortgage lender with 141 offices across 45 states, including 3 convenient locations right here in Middle Tennessee. Find out more at BOE1214.com. Bank of England Mortgage is a division of Bank of England Mortgage. Equal housing lender, member FDIC, NMLS 418-481.
Nothing makes one feel better than the ability to give to someone in need. You have the power to give the most important gift of all, the gift of life, with a donation of your blood. Supplies are desperately low in our area, and your help is needed. Blood Assurance is a nonprofit community blood center that supplies our Middle Tennessee area hospitals. Please find it in your heart to donate. Be someone's hero today. Go to bloodassurance.org to find a location or blood drive near you. That's bloodassurance.org. Give blood, give local, save lives with Blood Assurance.
Parman Energy is your one-stop petroleum solution across all of Tennessee, offering turnkey petroleum solutions for professionals in major industries, serving trucking fleets, construction companies, industrial plants, and more. Whether a large corporation or owner-operator, Parman Energy has your diesel fuel, lubricant, DEF, and equipment needs. No matter how you're getting there, start with Parman. Visit ParmanEnergy.com for more info. Your Tennessee petroleum solution, providing totally outrageous customer service.
Join us for the Smashville Open House on Saturday, April 23rd at Bridgestone Arena. This is your opportunity to select a seat for 2022-23 season tickets. Tour the Nashville Predators locker room, enjoy Nash's closet cleanout, and take your shot on net to win a pair of half-season tickets. It's the perfect event for the whole family. Kids can enjoy inflatables, a balloon artist, and more. Plus, watch the Preds in action against the Lightning on Fang Vision. We'll see you April 23rd. Visit NashvillePredators.com/open house.
Music City. Start a profitable new chapter of your life and be your own boss with your very own Little Guys Movers franchise. In fact, no matter where you are, from Green Hills to the Gulch to down in Franklin, if you can hear my voice, there's an affordable, profitable Little Guys franchise opportunity nearby. Use your existing 401k to invest in yourself. Financing options are available. Join a team with 30 plus years of growth and good times. Learn more at littleguysfranchise.com. That's littleguysfranchise.com. And then make that call.
Darren McFarland.
That should get you in the mood for a game tonight.
Willie Donick.
I think between 5.5 and 6 is probably in the ballpark.
Chase McCabe.
Typically, I like to take the most difficult task and do it first.
Darren, Donick, and Chase have you covered weekdays from 10 to 2 on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
This is Stillman and Company. Delivered by TriStar Moving.
Corey, your reaction to Ryan Tannehill and the optics of missing voluntary workout and now posting vacation pictures?
Well, first off, it didn't surprise me after not taking any accountability for the loss after the game and not showing up the next day during locker cleanout. It did not surprise me that he did not show up this week. And for those people who say it's voluntary, you are correct. But I think it says even more about him that it's voluntary and he's not there. It says it didn't hurt enough. Because if it hurt bad enough, he would have been the first one at the door. And it should have hurt him more than it hurt anybody. But apparently it didn't. I'm not saying he didn't care. But if it hurt as much as it hurt some of the fans that I talked to, he would have been there 5 minutes before the door opened, or 30 minutes. Because I talked to some fans who a month after that loss were still hurting. We're still having a hard time getting over it. Apparently, didn't hurt that bad.
Ooh, that's some heat on a Fireball Hot Take Friday from Corey Curtis. But I think it makes enough sense there.
Oh, yeah.
There's one thing I got to complain about, then we're right back to your phones.
Complain away.
I was talking to somebody who covers the Titans, and I was like, this is a major story. Hold on, I'll just read the conversation. And I was telling someone, I was like, this is a huge deal. Like, this should be like, the starting quarterback didn't show up on Monday for voluntary workouts, which is bad enough. Then on Friday, he posts a vacation picture. I said, this Tannehill story is fire. Said, it's a non-story, LOL. I said back, you don't get to decide what a story is. That's what you said about the Aaron Rodgers house story. You kept saying it was a non-story, and it kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I said, it ended up being not a story. And I said, but it was absolutely a story.
At the time, yes,
house.
it was a story.
The response was NFL-wide, not here in Nashville.
Oh, so what happens in the NFL doesn't matter here?
I guess
in terms of the Titans?
Here's the thing. This is very important for everybody to understand. If you do local radio in Nashville, if you write for the Tennessean, if you do whatever, Joe at The Athletic, who seems to love, he's been working on this Terry Crisp column for like 3 months. Like, Joe, you're a columnist. Like, get some takes out on the Predators giving up 7 goals in a period. Like, let's go. But here's the thing.
Easy on Joe.
Any story involving the NFL starting quarterback in that city is a massive story. Anywhere. Now, again, if you're in Boston today and Mac Jones posts a vacation story or isn't at voluntary workouts, it probably doesn't overshadow the fact that the Celtics are up 2-0 about to take out Kyrie Irving, who's the biggest villain in Boston since Roger Goodell. But that's a big deal if Mac Jones isn't at voluntary workouts in Foxborough. That is a big old deal. So it's a big deal that Tannehill's not here. It's a big deal that after what the coach said yesterday, that he posts a vacation picture today. It's a big deal. People care about that. People don't care. Like, we don't talk about the things people don't care about. Did I say that right? That doesn't sound right.
We don't talk about the things that people don't care about. Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
We talk about the things that people care about.
We talk about what people care. This isn't my opinion. It's your opinion. It's what do you want to talk about? It's Tannehill. Tannehill's the most polarizing topic in Nashville, Tennessee. And maybe one of the more polarizing topics if people cared about the Titans across the league. Because half the people think Tannehill's good and half the people think Tannehill sucks. And in this city, I think to Corey's point on that clip we just played, there's a lot of people who are really upset because they were very hurt about the loss to the Bengals. And they're still very upset about it. And I think they should be upset about it. But to like sit there and have just the high and mighty nature of the media saying, this is not a story. It absolutely, and I'm not saying the whole media said this. It's just a conversation I had today. It absolutely is a story. You can't say it's not a story. It is a huge story. And I keep wondering, how do you think Vrabel felt about that?
The picture?
Yes.
Well, clearly before the picture was taken, he was a little angry.
We did not think that Vrabel was very happy.
He was not very happy. I mean, you don't even have to read between those lines to understand that Vrabel was frustrated with Tannehill, with the rest of the team that didn't show up. But Tannehill's the leader. It starts with Tannehill, and it's a trickle-down effect from there. And this is salt in the wound. to
This is
say
bad.
we want people. We look forward to them coming back soon.
Re-energized.
Look forward to them coming
Drink
back
my
soon.
Celsius energy drink. I'm re-energized.
Recharged.
Recharged. Is that what it said?
Recharged.
Recharged. Yeah.
Well, good. Now get your butt back here if you're recharged. And that was the message from
Did he
Vrabel.
not drink his Celsius in that bye week they had to let him throw in 3 interceptions to the Bengals?
Clearly not.
Boy, I tell you, you know what's crazy too? And this may go back to Tannehill just not giving a rat's ass.
But I see that's the thing is.
Boy, is he in for the questions when he finally gets here.
From you?
Well, I mean, I'll be there, but I mean, I don't think it's just going to be me. I mean, I think that it's going to be one where they got to sit down with Tannehill before he does this.
Well, I mean, it's
like,
fair
hey, Ryan,
questioning.
This is going to be something.
It is very fair questioning, and it's nothing that anybody is just taking out of thin air and creating stories. We're just going off of the truth. We're going off of his actions.
Let me put it down right now at 4:54 p.m. on a Friday on April 22nd. Ryan Tannehill's response when asked about that Instagram picture while the team is working and he's showing himself fishing on vacation, he will claim, oh, that was an ad, and that was the Celsius people, and that was that. And he will use the advertising shield as a way to deflect blame from the fact that he posted a picture on a boat while the rest of the team's in the facility working. So, let's go to the phones.
One texter texts in and says, I think you're comical thinking a starting quarterback worth $200 million gives a damn what any of us think.
Well, I mean, clearly these people. Dude, Kevin Durant has a burner Twitter account.
Several.
Like LeBron.
Like Kevin Durant fan number one, where he tweets good things out about Kevin Durant.
LeBron went to a press conference a month ago and just started talking about how no Laker fan should read what Bill Oram of The Athletic writes. Do you even know who Bill Oram is?
No.
I didn't know who Bill Oram was until
No,
LeBron started talking about Bill Oram. Like you can't tell me. So if LeBron cares and Kevin Durant cares and Kyler Murray cares and AJ cares and the coach cares, you're going to tell me that the quarterback does all of a sudden doesn't care. That doesn't seem to make a lot of sense.
There's probably a good bit of truth to the fact that, people say, Tannehill, you suck. He probably does not care.
Sure, like when people tell me I suck.
Right. Like, you're going to get mean stuff on social media all the time.
But, I know who in the media, is going after me. I know who's going after me, and I don't like them. And honestly, I'm sure there's probably something, on a much larger scale because Tannehill has to deal with a lot more of it than I do. But there's probably something that Tannehill doesn't like. Give me another one.
Another texter says no correlation between the picture and his relationship with Vrabel.
Bull crap.
I think it's just an ad simple as that. In those contracts, Celsius would usually decide when something is posted. They probably had this schedule.
Oh, it doesn't matter. In those contracts, the quarterback can always audible from the plan.
And also,
that there's no way Tannehill signs an endorsement deal where he cannot make an audible at the time of something.
I don't know what the Celsius contract with Ryan Tannehill looks like. I have a hard time believing that in one of the bullet points it says, absolutely positively must post on April 22nd, you on a boat on vacation. A lot of these deals, it's just like, hey, if you can post a few of them, doing whatever you're doing. So you could do that in the locker room.
I did
do that in the weight room.
I got asked to do an event with Delaney Walker one time. And they were like, yeah, it's like a VIP chalk talk session. Can you host it? I said, sure. So I figured it would be like, a bunch of, because it was for Pepsi, and I figured it would be like a bunch of big wigs and executives and stuff like that to get to meet Delaney Walker.
No.
It was just random people.
It's not that serious.
And it was because all they had to do was scan a QR code at Twice Daily on Frito-Lay products. And if they won, they got to get invited to this VIP chalk talk with Delaney Walker. It was me, Delaney. We were at a pizza restaurant in a private room. There were maybe 30 people in there. We had a good time. Lots of pizza was had. I mean, it honestly was the most fun of anything like that I've ever done.
Good.
But that's just because Delaney, to work for Pepsi, hey, will you do this? Sure. All right, yeah. And then we can market it, and then, that's how it's made.
It's not that serious.
Chad Withrow, Outkick 360, his reaction that he was hard on Tannehill this week. Hard on fans who felt the need to defend Tannehill. We'll get Chad's thoughts on the Tannehill Vrabel. I think this is not going away. FanDuel Sportsbooks, my official sportsbook app. I absolutely love the FanDuel Sportsbook app, and the playoffs are here, and you can make every game feel like Game 7 on the FanDuel Sportsbook app, an official partner of the NBA. Throughout the playoffs, all customers can place a no-sweat same-game parlay each week. You'll get up to $20 in free bets if you don't win. FanDuel has so many ways to play, and best of all, when you do win, you'll get paid faster than a fast break. Tomorrow's game between Boston and the Brooklyn is incredibly interesting because while KD and Kyrie should win a Game 3 at home, they're both quitters. And I wonder if they're going to quit. So I don't know how to bet that game. I find it very fascinating. If you're new to FanDuel, download the FanDuel Sportsbook app and sign up with the promo code JGM. Once again, that's promo code JGM. And if you already have an account, you're all set to bet. No sweat. Either way, you'll get $20 in free bets if your same-game parlay during the playoffs doesn't win. FanDuel Sportsbook, an official partner of the NBA. 21 and older and present in Tennessee. Refund issue is non-withdrawable free bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Max bet $20 per week. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line 1-800-889-9789.
The voice of reason.
274 yards, 2 interceptions, 0 touchdowns. You're not going to win a game that way.
The voice of the fan.
I'm tired of let's just give it to a quarterback.
The voice of Nashville sports is your home of Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
Don't miss the historic opening of Geodis Park on May 1st as Nashville SC comes home for the first time of the 2022 season. Become a season ticket member starting at only $357 to ensure you are there for the big day. Come on in and grab a seat at NashvilleSC.com/22ticks.
Genesis Diamonds' once-a-year spring extravaganza is here this weekend. 3 days of phenomenal savings store-wide. You save up to 35% off Genesis' already guaranteed best prices. Rings, earrings, bracelets, bands, and more. Plus special finance. You can even trade in your old jewelry for some amazing new designs from our world-class designers who flew in just for this. Extra savings on GIA-certified diamonds, too. It's our biggest sale all year. This Friday through Sunday only. And only at Genesis Diamonds. Green Hills and Cool Springs. See store for details.
Parman Tractor and Equipment is your one-stop tractor and equipment solution, and Middle Tennessee's Link Belt and Takeuchi dealer. Rent or purchase a track loader, mini excavator, large excavators for your job site, or something in between. Parman is now hiring and seeking qualified candidates for construction equipment truck drivers, service technicians, and more. Apply at parmantractor.com or call 615-865-7800. Come be an employee owner with the Parman team, your Middle Tennessee Link Belt and Takeuchi dealer.
Don't hunt for savings this Easter. Electronic Express has the best deals of the season. Enjoy the spring weather with brands like Yeti, Traeger, Charbroil, and more. We've also got huge savings in every department. Computers and gaming, smart home, housewares, mattresses, and more. Plus, save up to 40% on all appliances with up to 36 months free financing. Shop in-store or online with free express delivery on most items. Shop spring savings at Electronic Express. We make it happen.
From the Hillside Medical Game Studios, WPRT-FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne.
Good morning. Morning.
Robby and Rexrode mornings from 6 to 10.
It's not bad. Might have to work on that. It's not bad. It's a starting point.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
a Cromwell Media Station.
Live from the Game Nashville studios, it's Stillman and Company. Delivered by TriStar Moving. TriStar Movers with 5-star service. With Jared Stillman on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Stillman & Company is delivered by TriStar Moving. ESPN 102.5 The Game, streaming live on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook Live. Thanks to the law offices of Amanda Gentry, live from the Hillside Medical Game Studios. Fireball Hot Take Friday. And boy, I got a hot take today when I saw Ryan Tannehill posting on Instagram and Twitter a fishing picture with a sponsorship with Celsius, the energy drink, which congratulations to them. They picked the right time to post that picture to get a bunch of shout-outs from people talking about this.
Yeah, T's and P's to Celsius.
I know, right? But in a week in which he didn't show up for voluntary workouts, his coach said he was comfortable with the situation, didn't seem overly pleased about it yesterday, and now the flack that comes with this. Corey Curtis was all over Tannehill today, which I was kind of surprised by. But that was some pretty good stuff. Chad Withrow joins us now, Outkick 360. So, Chad, I want to start with this. You had a great thought the other day, which we talked about a little bit, which was, like, a lot of people feel the need to defend Ryan Tannehill all the time. I don't know where that comes from. But your thought on the week of Tannehill, the missing the voluntary workouts, and then posting a vacation picture today, even if it is sponsored, what that means, what that says about him and the Titans.
Well, I'd like to thank Ryan Tannehill, first off, for making sure that I never drink a Celsius fitness drink after that post today. It's done the reverse of what the intent was of that post. This really bothers me. This is a story. I know, Jared, you spent all of your show today, the majority of it, talking about this, but It really, really bothers me. And there's a couple of factors here that bother me. It's Ryan Tannehill that bothers me the most. And it's the Titans fan response to Ryan Tannehill that bothers me second most in this. I do not understand how fans that are probably making $50,000 to $75,000 a year will tweet me defending a guy making $40 million a year and saying that he has every right to not show up. It's voluntary, Chad. It's voluntary. He is making $40 million. He's one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the league. He is supposed to be a leader on this team. You know who's a leader on defense? It's Kevin Byard. Guess where Kevin Byard is? He's there. He's a highly paid guy. He doesn't have to be there, but he's there. It's not just that Ryan Tannehill is highly paid, though. He is the quarterback who I don't think anyone considers the leader of that offense, quite frankly. They consider Derrick Henry, a running back, the leader of that offense. Taylor Lewan's the most outspoken on the offense, and A.J. Brown's the most talented on the offense. So where does that leave Ryan Tannehill? Oh, yeah, the most highly paid guy on the offense and on the team. And what is he doing? He's fishing. He's fishing and recharging. And he is the guy that is most responsible for their failure in the playoff game. You put all those factors in, and he needs to show up. He needs to talk. He needs to address it. He needs to be there for workouts. I don't care if they're voluntary or not. He needs to be doing that. And I'm out on Ryan Tannehill for all of this. He needs to win me back at this point. And I almost feel, Jared, like Randy Quaid's character in Major League Two, where every time the Indians would do something right in the baseball game, he'd say, well, they'll blow it in the playoffs. They'll blow it in the playoffs. I feel like I'm going to be watching the Titans this year saying that about Ryan Tannehill until he proves me otherwise. And that's not a good thing.
I think one thing that bothers me, Chad, is I know where Vrabel comes from. I've covered the Patriots before. I worked with a guy who was, essentially second behind Belichick in New England. I feel like I know the Patriots pretty well, where Vrabel and Robinson come from. And this is not Vrabel-like behavior, especially all the star players outside of Kevin Byard taking off the voluntary offseason program. I understand A.J. Brown's in a contract dispute, but for Derrick Henry to not be there, for Jeffrey Simmons to not be there, for the quarterback to not be there, that is very unpatriot-like. The only time Brady wasn't there was when he was mad at Belichick. I wonder how this is going to affect the relationship between Vrabel and Tannehill.
It just doesn't seem like Tannehill would be a Vrabel type of guy in general. I mean, take this part out of it. They just don't strike me as similar people. And look, I'm not saying that everyone the Titans bring in needs to be a clone of Mike Vrabel or Patriots greats. You can't have a roster like that in the NFL. It's impossible to reach that standard. But there are, football guys out there, and I'll take it a step further. It's not just football. It's a way of living. It's a competitive, fiery, in-your-face. You try to one-up me, I'm going to try to one-up you. We watched the Brady documentary, The Man in the Arena, and talking about, I'm going to get one up on you today. I'm going to get one up on you tomorrow. That's the way Vrabel lives his life. And he wants guys that are like that. You can't have a roster like that, but I feel like if Vrabel had his way, he'd have a quarterback like that. And, I hate to break to Titans fans that want to defend Ryan Tannehill, but he ain't got a quarterback like him. He ain't got a quarterback like that right now, and that's a big problem for this team. And I think if it was done intentionally, I've had this discussion with friends about, and even with you, Jared, even about, is it intentional or was it a PR firm that did this, and now he just doesn't want to take it down? And the majority of people I talk to say, I think it's intentional. I think it's him sending a statement to those who have a problem with him not being there. And I just don't get it. I at least know what A.J. Brown is trying to accomplish. He's underpaid. He wants more money. I don't like the way he's going about it, but I understand what he's doing. For the life of me, I don't understand what Ryan Tannehill is doing. I don't get it.
See, that's the thing that bothers me. Chad Withrow, Outkick 360 is our guest. That's what bothers me. What bothers me is Ryan Tannehill is not new to being a starting quarterback in the NFL. Like, he's been doing this for a decade. And every misstep this offseason, whether it was not taking the blame after the Bengals game, whether it was not meeting with the media for the locker room cleanout day, whether it was not showing up for the voluntary workouts, and now posting his vacation picture while everybody else is working, those are all just huge gaffes that you don't see from Jimmy Garoppolo, you don't see from Matt Ryan, you don't see from Phillip Rivers when he was playing, or Eli Manning. You didn't see that from guys. They didn't have to be Brady or Mahomes or Rodgers, but you don't see that from Andy Dalton. And yet we've seen all this from Tannehill, and it is just mind-boggling how we got there, Chad.
Yeah, I know Ryan Tannehill, I think he had like a really complicated major at Texas A&M or something, and he's a book smart guy. I'm not sensing a lot of depth or common sense from Ryan Tannehill when it comes to this. If you talk to people in Miami that covered him, by the way, you want to know a group that is laughing right now and telling everyone I told you so? It's anyone who followed the Dolphins or covered the Dolphins, talking about Ryan Tannehill. They saw the writing on the wall. Now, they were reluctant to admit that he was really good for a stretch with the Titans, so I'm not going to give them too much credit because they still wouldn't admit that he was doing a good job. And look, I think Tannehill's done well for the Titans overall, but he's just not the answer. And there's something that really rubs me. It's the silence part of it. It's not talking on locker cleanout day. It's not posting anything outside of a congratulations to Mike Vrabel for winning NFL Coach of the Year, followed by a vacation picture. And then you know the guys are there with voluntary workout. It's just this combination of things that you're right, Jared. You don't see the greats have things like this happen one after the other like you have with Ryan Tannehill. I sit here and look at it and I think, is this the guy, if the Titans have this roster right now, that's capable, even without their best player in Derrick Henry for a stretch of the season, to get a number one seed? They have that good of a roster. Is this the guy that can pull them back after a disappointing playoff game to come back next year and go bigger and go deeper in the playoffs and get to a Super Bowl or win one? I'm sitting here right now. I can't even allow for that possibility. That's how far-fetched it is to think that.
See, that for me is the issue that I was talking about this, which is if they draft a guy next week to play quarterback, then that's going to be the backup to Tannehill. And so it'll be Tannehill and Matt Corral or whatever. But if they don't, it's still Tannehill and Logan Woodside. And I don't think that's good enough this year because I think the rubber's meeting the road with Tannehill this year. And if he goes out there and starts playing like he did last year, they're going to boo him out of the stadium. They're going to have to get somebody else in there to play quarterback. And it's kind of like Marcus's fifth year where a lot of people, I was one of them, I believe Marcus could get it done. And he went out there and 4 weeks into the season, it was get him out of here. And I wonder if we're headed with that with Tannehill. And I don't know if the Titans are prepared because, again, the backup is Logan Woodside.
Well, and also, do we think, let's say that it starts out bad for Ryan Tannehill, just with the evidence we've been given in the playoff games, in the losses, and now this offseason. Do we think if it goes bad and he gets booed at home by the crowd, do you think Ryan Tannehill's the type that's going to come back and say, man, I'm going to show them. I'm going to come out and light this league on fire.
No, he got booed in Miami.
Around. I'm going to do that. You know what Ryan Tannehill will do? He'd probably post a sponsored ad on Instagram that week. I don't see him bouncing himself, getting off the turf and showing this city. If that's what it takes to motivate him, great, if it's a slow start. But I just see Ryan Tannehill sort of burying himself more in this. Ryan Tannehill strikes me as it ain't me, it's someone else type guy. It's the team. It's not just me. Don't point your finger at me instead of just saying, go ahead, I'll take it. You know why I'll take it? Because I can handle it. I can take it. Put all the blame on me. Doesn't matter. I'm going to show you. He doesn't strike me as that type of guy. And that's not some sin. It's just the type of competitor that he strikes me as right now. And I'm with you. I don't think that's good enough for the Titans.
Chad Withrow, Outkick 360 is with us. Tannehill wasn't the only one who had a big week. A.J. Brown, drama, Debo's mom, all kinds of stuff. We'll get Chad's thoughts on that and what the Titans should do with AJ. Pro Golf is coming to Nashville this May with the Simmons Bank Open. Text the keyword golf now to 615-737-1025 for a chance to win a weekend pass for 4 to enjoy the event in style, including food and drink, plus a Predators gift pack, including polo shirt, golf balls, and umbrella. Text golf, GOLF now to 615-737-1025 and enter to win. Stillman and Company, Fireball Hot Take Friday. It's ESPN 1025 The Game.
Every Wednesday at 5, join us for Jared versus Joe as they debate all of the big topics in sports, presented by Parman Tractor and Equipment and Mayweather Boxing and Fitness on ESPN 1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
This segment of ESPN 1025 The Game is brought to you by Train Heating and Cooling Systems. Tested, retested, engineered, and re-engineered to keep up with you. We run together. Visit traininfo.com to find your local independent train dealer. Traininfo.com. It's hard to stop a train.
At the law office of Amanda J. Gentry, we are committed to defending your rights. We have a team committed to helping you navigate the court system, whether you've been accused of a crime or you're going through a messy divorce and custody. Call our team to help you navigate this system. We are here to protect your rights, to demand your rights, to enforce your rights. 615-604-6263. 615-604-6263. AmandaJGentry.com.
This summer, saddle up in Smashville as the Music City hosts the hottest party of the summer, WWE SummerSlam, Nashville. For the first time ever at Nissan Stadium. A little bit country, a little bit rock and roll, a whole lot of kick-ass. WWE SummerSlam, Saturday, July 30th. Live worldwide from Music City's Nissan Stadium. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.
Smokeville Smoke Shop has been serving Hendersonville and Metro Nashville since 2015 and is committed to providing high-quality, hands-on, and personable customer service. Stop into Smokeville Smoke Shops in Hendersonville, Gallatin, Hermitage, and Goodlettsville to try any of their wide selection of locally sourced products and selection of top nationwide brands, including vapes, hookah, hand-blown glass, detox systems, e-juices, kratom products, leaf wraps, and much more. Visit Smokeville Smoke Shops today.
The Ainsworth Nashville has been bringing a sophisticated twist to the classic all-American sports bar, restaurant, and private event experience in Midtown since 2018. Our multi-purpose venue consists of a full-scale restaurant, bar and lounge, and event space. Come for the wings, stay for our happy hour, and visit us for brunch on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. We've got the good times to keep you singing all night long. The Ainsworth Nashville. Burgers, cocktails, sports.
Visit the Ainsworth at 206 21st Avenue South in Nashville or online at theainsworth.com.
Hey Nashville, it's Chase McKay, Program Director of ESPN 1025 The Game, and there's a new way that you can hear Nashville's best sports talk. It's on 106.3 FM. From downtown Nashville to Spring Hill on I-65 and to Murfreesboro on I-24, you now have two choices to hear our great sports talk programming. And, of course, the Nashville Predators. Check out 106.3 now and save it as a preset.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Thinking about gas mileage? Keep your engine at its best with clean oil from Pennzoil Platinum Full Synthetic. Got an older vehicle? Use Pennzoil Platinum Full Synthetic High Mileage. Right now, you can get 5 quarts with an STP Extended Life oil filter for only $35.99. Get what you need for better fuel efficiency at any of our 6,000 stores or on AutoZone.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Interact with Stillman and Company. Call or text the show at 615-737-1025. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
So I do kind of get into this stuff, even though I don't believe in the salary cap anymore, and that is a fair contract for A.J. Brown. And I said today, he's due $3.9 million this upcoming season. $25.96 would be the franchise tag for next year, around that, and then $31.15 would be the cap or the tag the next year, which would equal $61 million over 3 years. So let's just go 4 years, $90 million, 64 guaranteed, 22.5. Call it a day. But we've got AJ taking Tennessee out of his Twitter bio. We have the Titans saying they don't foresee an AJ trade. We have the Debo Samuel's mom's Instagram live with AJ telling Debo that I guess he, wants more than $20 million a year, and the Titans aren't going to give it to him. Chad Withrow, Outkick 360's with us. Your reaction to the week that was for A.J. Brown?
I think that two things make me optimistic about the Titans and A.J. Brown getting something done in relatively short order. One is the fact that he's not demanded a trade that Deebo Samuel has. They share an agent, and one guy has, the other guy has not. Two is Steve Keim and the way he talked about the negotiations with Kyler Murray. That seems to have really calmed down. And Kyler Murray was way more over the top with what he was doing to show his displeasure with Arizona than what A.J. Brown has done. And now Steve Keim is saying, look, it's not personal, it's business. This is just a tactic that the agent's going to put out there. No hard feelings. And there's no way, he said zero chance that Kyler Murray's not going to be a Cardinal. So they're going to get a deal done. I feel the same about John Robinson, A.J. Brown. There's not going to be a trade. This is kind of, ruffling your feathers for the sake of trying to get movement quicker on what you want. But the fact that it's $20 million, and by the way, great job, Caroline, recording the Instagram Live, because not many places had that. So terrific work by you.
That's investigative journalism right there.
Hey, without Caroline, we would not have had that video, and that kind of drove our entire show Wednesday.
I said that Pat McAfee should just go ahead and put me on payroll.
There you go.
I mean, forget Pat McAfee, 60 Minutes to put you on the payroll.
Add them to the list. I'm rich.
Yeah, you are the female Anderson Cooper right now with that work on there. You could be a correspondent very soon. But listening to, was it Precious Martin, Deebo Samuel's mom on her Instagram Live? So if it's $20 million, right? I mean, I'm going to buy that. It's $20 million. If the number is 25 and you're kind of throw it there, let's say it's 22, kind of meeting in the middle of that top dollar and 20, they're close. I mean, in NFL's salary terms, that's close. $2 million is a lot of money to everyone else. It's not that big of a gap as to where they need to be. I think they're going to get something done. A.J. Brown wants to be a Titan ultimately. I believe that. I think it's going to happen. I think this is just a lot of noise right now, but it's certainly given us a lot to talk about.
So I actually told this story. Chad Withrow was with us. I told this story the other day. I know for a fact the A.J. camp thought at around the combine time, or maybe right after the combine, I can't remember. The A.J. camp thought they were getting a 4-year, $80 million contract. Somebody told me. And this happened back then, that the A.J. camp thought it was 4 years, $80 million. And then you look at the deals that Torrey Dandy got for Chris Godwin and for Mike Williams, which were 3 years, $60 million. So that tracks. But then the Tyreek Hill deal, the Devontae Adams deal, the Stephon Diggs deal, and that kind of throws a little bit of a wrench into it. The thing, Chad, that gets me is I think A.J. wants this deal done, but I also think that they look at that number that is easily manipulated by NFL teams, that average per year. I think he looks at where he fits in the NFL, and he thinks that, well, if it was 20 before those deals, before Christian Kirk was 17, then it should be 25, 26 now. And I don't think the Titans can get to 25 and 26 on an A.J. deal, Chad.
I don't know if they're going to get to that, but let me say this also. A.J. Brown's not as good as Diggs or Devontae Adams. He's younger, but he's not as good as those guys. But what A.J. Brown is probably as valuable to his offense as those guys are to their offenses. And that's a big testament to A.J. Brown. So that's why I think it's so important the Titans get something done with him. I mean, it's going to come down to, can John Robinson – a couple things. Can John Robinson convince Dandy and with Dandy, A.J. Brown, that this number, while not the number, is a good, fair number for you? And is A.J. Brown okay with doing that to get a lot of guaranteed money up front and get this thing out of the way and get ready for a season? Or is A.J. Brown, through his agent, so dead set on getting the number, whatever that number is, whatever number they set out to get, that was the ceiling of this is the best that we're going to do. We're going to get to this level as an NFL receiver right now, cash in right now. And if we don't get that number, we'll demand a trade. We'll do whatever we need to next. I just don't think that we're to that point with A.J. Brown. And I think that he's going to see the light and understand that it's going to be a big number, and they're going to spend a lot of money to try to keep him. They're already offering a lot of money to try to keep him. I think that both sides will come to that agreement and find something fair. And I'm with you, Jared. I don't think they're going to go to that 25-plus window for him.
Chad Withrow's with us, Outkick 360. Caroline, what % of the text line and calls over the last week would you say are anti-AJ compared to pro-AJ?
I would say like 75%, if not more, is anti-AJ. Like, we don't want to deal with the social media drama. He's not a top 10 wide receiver in the league, and I don't think he should be paid like one. That's kind of the overall sentiment in
Chad,
the text line.
Your reaction to that?
That surprises me. I thought more people would back A.J. Brown the way they backed Ryan Tannehill. So I'm a little surprised to hear that. Again, I don't know what Ryan Tannehill's doing. He should be handling this far different than he has. At least I know. I don't agree with A.J. Brown. I think he's gone about this in a sort of a dumb way, kind of a juvenile way. But at least I know what he's attempting to do. We all know the end game. We all know the goal for A.J. Brown. And also, it's just – we don't have a guy, particularly playing chess here with this whole thing. So I think that strikes Titans fans the wrong way. When someone handles their business in silence, whether they're doing that in a smart way or a dumb way, we tend to think they're smart because they're quiet about it and they're not being loud about it. A.J. Brown has not been quiet on this. So it comes across as dumb and something Titans fans won't get behind because of that. If he was doing all this in the background and things were quiet, Titans fans would probably be saying, boy, A.J. Brown's really smart in how he's handling this. We'll see, which way gets the desired outcome. And, ultimately for A.J. Brown, all he wants is the money.
What do you make of the draft, Chad, next week? The Titans are picking at 26. They don't have a second-round pick. They had their press conference yesterday in which they didn't reveal a lot. What do you think the Titans' route is going to be? What's your feeling on the Titans in this draft? Maybe not what player they're going to draft, but just your overall feeling about how the board will fall to them.
My feeling is it's going to be an offensive lineman that they're going to draft in the first round. My hope is that Treylon Burks or someone of that caliber at receiver that's an immediate difference maker somehow falls to the Titans. That there's a guy there. I mean, even if it's Jamison Williams, which I don't think he'll be there either, that you have to wait on a bit. But specifically, let's talk about Burks, who I love. I saw a mock where he was going to Buffalo in the first round. And what I read was, well, while he doesn't – receiver's not really a need for Buffalo, teams as good as Buffalo can go and risk getting an immediate impact guy that can help them win a Super Bowl. I think the Titans should be in the same boat. And that's the type of guy who can immediately impact your roster, your offense, and help you win a Super Bowl. So I think it's going to be offensive line, but I really hope that there is a receiver that for whatever reason drops to them at that spot that they can pick up and immediately help them get to a Super Bowl.
So every year I do this thing where I just count out all the players that the Titans are going to have no chance of drafting. And this year I only got to 15 before I was like, I could see that guy falling a little bit. This draft is very, I don't know who Jacksonville's picking at 1. There's no quarterbacks. We don't know when they're going to go. I mean, I think that next Thursday night, I think it's going to be one of the lower-rated drafts in recent history, maybe because we're not all locked up at home anymore. But I got to tell you, this draft it's weird, but it doesn't seem to have a lot of juice to it, Chad.
No, you're right, and it's no juice because no quarterbacks. There's not the star quarterbacks this year, and that's
what
what
the teams at the top are like Jacksonville and Houston.
Yeah, you don't have that premier franchise close to the top. You got Detroit, drafting second. Yeah. So I think it's that. You're right with the teams that are drafting at the top, but I think the lack of quarterbacks. I mean, this is a quarterback-driven league. That's going to drive interest. Ratings would be up if we're talking about 4 or 5 top quarterbacks going in the top 10 or 15, but instead you got 2 or 3 guys that everyone says probably isn't first round worthy, but someone's going to have to draft them because they're quarterback needy. So it's going to be a lower rated. It's still going to have great ratings, but it's going to be lower rated than recent years. But also it's going to be it's going to be a roller coaster. It's unexpected. We don't know what's going to happen. There's going to be some crazy picks that we're not looking at right now in that first round. So for that reason, I think it's going to be fun to follow.
Yeah. Chad Withrow, Outkick 360, always joining us on a Friday. Great stuff, bud. We'll talk next week.
All right. Always fun. Thanks, guys.
Yep. Chad Withrow joining us on the program. I got to 15. Normally, I can get to like 23 if they're picking 26. Or maybe like 20. I got to 15. And everybody else, I was like, no, I mean, like Jamison Williams could be there with the 26th pick. I don't think he will be, but he could be.
But normally there's such a solid amount of, or a solid number of players in the draft that you're like, okay, I know for sure these guys are going top 20.
Right.
I know for sure these guys are first-round guys.
Like, I know the Titans have no shot at Sauce Gardner.
No.
Like,
He'll go top 10.
Right. Like, I know they have no shot at him. I don't know where he's going to go, but I know at 26, they got no shot at him. They got no shot at, Trayvon Walker, the defensive tackle out of Georgia.
Kayvon Thibodeau.
Yeah. Although Kayvon Thibodeau, I still can't get over. But listen to Peter Schrager on Pat McAfee. And Schrager, McAfee asked, like, why is our, Thibodeau, or no, Schrager said that Thibodeau had a great meeting with the Jets and that he thinks the Jets are going to take Thibodeau at 4. And McAfee was like, why is nobody talking about this Thibodeau? I mean, we heard he might be number 1. Then we see other people say he might be 10.
Mm-hmm.
And Schrager was like, well, like he says things that football people don't like. They're not bad, but they're things that football people don't like.
You know who loves that?
Well, that's the thing. So McAfee was like, what? And he was like, well, he said that he doesn't think anybody can coach him, that he doesn't need to be coached. He said that he went to Oregon instead of Alabama because instead of wanting to win national championships, he wants to get a job at Nike when he retires from football. And I was like, oh, so he doesn't like coaching and he doesn't care about winning. The Jets. The Jets. 615-737-1025. Both Caroline and I were stunned by not our reactions and not your reactions, but this particular reaction to Ryan Tannehill's vacation decision during the voluntary offseason program. We'll get to that next. Tell us about Seltzerland.
Seltzerland is going to be a blast, so make sure to check out Seltzerland at Riverside Golf Links. Guests will be able to play this or to enjoy this one-of-a-kind immersive experience, spending the afternoon tasting 100% unique hard seltzers, indulging in delicious munchies, receiving tons of seltzer swag, and capture great pictures to post on your Instagram. Hey, like our friend Ryan Tannehill. Maybe we'll see him out there at Riverside Golf Links. You don't want to miss this. Listen to ESPN 1025 The Game all month long for your chance to win tickets to Seltzerland on April 30th at Riverside Golf Links.
This is Tanner Janot, and this is Smashville.
And now down the right wing side, Tanner Janot. His shot, he scored! Tanner Janot with a shot!
This is the flagship of the Nashville Predators Radio Network. ESPN 1025, The Game.
Spring has sprung, which means it's time to renew your home with Social Furniture. It's their Spring Fling sale, where all furniture is up to 50% off. That's right, up to 50% off on top name brands such as Serta, Sealy, Simmons, Caracol, Bernhardt, and Woodhouse. At Social Furniture, you'll find new bedroom furniture, mattresses, and sofas, all up to 50% off. Spring into Social Furniture today on Charlotte Avenue in West Nashville. Shop local, shop social. Social Furniture is a proud supporter of your Nashville Predators.
Winning this award is truly like winning the Super Bowl of car dealer awards for Mercedes-Benz.
Edwin Vickery, General Manager of Mercedes-Benz of Music City.
Culture eats strategy for lunch. You have to hit on all cylinders to win this award. You can strategize all you want. You got to still have the right tools, and our tools are our people.
Live the dream with 3-time Mercedes-Benz Best of the Best award winner, Mercedes-Benz of Music City. Go to mbofmc.com.
Winter's a bad time for your furnace to go out, but it's never a bad time to call Lee Company. Our heating and air conditioning pros are available 24/7. No heat? Don't wait. Call Lee Company now at 615-567-1000. Our expert technicians will diagnose the issue and fix it right the first time. When you're cold, you need someone you can count on to bring the heat. Call Lee Company now at 615-567-1000 or visit leecompany.com.
Stanley
Family Leisure invites you to vacation at home with a new spa, pool, patio furniture, or wood play gym this summer.
I really want a spa.
40 spas on display from Artesian, Best Spas, and American Select.
Prices starting as low as $29.99.
Family Leisure has over 100 sets of patio furniture with free delivery.
That sounds good to me, too.
We should really look at the wood play gyms for the kids. Family Leisure has the Diamond Point swing set on sale at only $24.99 installed. Family Leisure's vacation at home sale in Franklin and Antioch.
The designer jewelry event of 2022 is this weekend at Genesis Diamonds. See all new creations from the world's biggest names in jewelry. Store-wide savings up to 35% and take advantage of zero-interest financing. Top designers are here with their newest and most inspired lines. Rings, earrings, pendants, bands, bracelets, many being shown for the very first time. Special pricing across the board. Spread your payments with zero-interest financing. Extra savings on GIA-certified diamonds, too. Friday through Sunday only at Genesis Diamonds. Green Hills and Cool Springs.
Sunday. The Cup Series shifts to the 2.5-mile Talladega Superspeedway with the Geico 500. Coverage begins at 1 on Nashville's home for NASCAR.
ESPN
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey Nashville, this is Gary Bettman. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 1025 The Game.
So it takes a lot to shock me. I'm not one of these people that is easily surprised. Ryan Tannehill posting a vacation picture today after all the hubbub that was made on Monday when he wasn't at practice. You know, that kind of got me. Corey Curtis from News 2 was on our program. Now, here's the thing. I love Corey. I do. I like debating, like other people or whatever. Yeah. And I understand that, you know, sometimes maybe my takes are a little, now I won't say out there because I think that they're all very much in the strike zone. But I can understand how other people would say that they're, maybe a little too much, whatever, and whatnot. And so Corey usually kind of is more, trying to think of the right word here, civilized
Not
isn't
bold.
the right word, but is usually more responsible than say that I am.
I think that's a very fair word.
So, again, I don't know what it is about social media and people that are older than me, because Corey's not old, but he is older than me. But there's something about how I just expected when Tannehill posted this vacation picture, I expected like me to fly off the handle, and I expected like former players to not like it. And I wasn't surprised that Chad didn't like it, but Corey Curtis was on our show, and I was kind of surprised by how Corey reacted to that.
I was too. I really expected Corey to be like, Jared, it's Instagram.
It was a post.
It's April.
It was an ad. It was scheduled.
Right.
It was. So I asked him, you know, as he was talking about Tannehill, I'm like, is this an indictment on his leadership? Here's what Corey Curtis said.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, look, you can tell me he's a great leader all you want. Who's leading the team right now? Kevin Byard's there. Ben Jones there. You know what we did in the office on Sunday? We said, okay, we get the Titans on Monday. Who's going to be there? Who are we going to talk to? You know who the first two names were that we knew we were going to talk to? Kevin Byard and Ben Jones. I mean, it wasn't hard. We knew who was going to be there. And, you know, when we debated if Tannehill was going to be there, and we all basically didn't think he would be there. So, no. I mean, and look, do I think Derrick Henry should be there? Yeah, I do. I mean, do I think Derrick Henry is working his tail off wherever he is? Absolutely, but that's not what it's about. It's about leading the team. It's about setting the standard for the guys who look up to you, the guys who you want to be as good as you. You have to set the standard. And I know you could say you can set the standard all season long. Well, the standard starts now, and the standard starts when you're doing the work that you don't have to do.
I thought that was a really strong take. Like, I know it's Fireball Hot Take Friday, and we ask him for his hot take every week. That wasn't it. But I thought that was really strong. And it leads me to this question, which is, and it's so hard because we don't have the information in front of us, like the for sure information.
Mm-hmm.
But is Tannehill really as good of a leader as they make him sound? Because every time they talk about him, it's like leadership. And then you ask Corey, is this Instagram picture, is this a sign of bad leadership? And he's like, yeah. And then talked about how, who do you expect there? Byard and Ben Jones. And I was thinking about it, like Ben Jones, we played that one answer that Ben Jones had when asked about guys that weren't here. And Ben Jones, I thought, gave the most politically correct answer I've ever heard. I mean, gold star for Ben Jones.
A+.
And I do wonder if, when the Titans tell us Tannehill's a really good leader, if it's a bunch of bullcrap and that we just they just say it because it's better than to talk about the football elements of his game, which are obviously lacking compared to other top quarterbacks.
And I think Corey made a very fair point in that being a true leader, you got to do things you don't want to do.
Oh, yes.
But
it's like being a husband.
You get
or a wife.
compensated for that. Yeah, like whenever you have a certain role, you have to do certain things that you may not necessarily love, but the opposite side of that is you get things that you really do love, or you get compensated for in some way or another. If you are married to someone and you got to go to the grocery store and you don't feel like doing it, well, you have a partner to come home to at the end of the day. When you're a quarterback and you'd rather be on your boat fishing, but your butt's in the weight room, that's something that you have to do because you're a leader and you get compensated for that. You make $38 million a year being the quarterback of this football team. So I get it. Like, I get it that it's not always fun. I understand that. But sometimes you got to do things you don't want to do because you are a leader of a football team.
And it feels like in the past he's done those things. He got vaccinated. He didn't want to get vaccinated.
And that's one thing is he obviously didn't want to, but he did. And it sets the precedent for the rest of the team because everyone else on the team could have looked at Ryan and be like, well, my quarterback didn't do it, so why do I have to do it? And I think that's the same thing here, that other players may look at it like, why is Ryan on his boat and I'm in the weight room?
So this is my theory behind just this incident. And again, I think the picture was a total middle finger to Vrabel. I think what Vrabel said yesterday about I've had conversations with Ryan, I'm comfortable, I expect him here shortly. And the tone, Ian, if we could get that one, it felt like, I don't like condescending. Is that the right word about how Vrabel?
I don't think condescending. I think more so forceful.
It almost felt
carefully forceful.
It almost felt like Vrabel was shaming him. And it wouldn't surprise me if behind the scenes, Vrabel had shamed him. And so he knows Vrabel had shamed him. Then Vrabel asked about Tannehill specifically. This is what Vrabel said.
More important, Mike, for Ryan Tannehill, actually for both of you, that question. Is he missing anything of real value here, not being here right now?
I've had communications with Ryan. Again, as the head coach, I want every single player here. I would love to see that happen. Had communications with Ryan, and I'm comfortable where those are at, and expect him back here pretty shortly.
Expect him back here pretty shortly. It's almost like eye roll. Yeah, I've had conversations with Ryan. I'm comfortable with where it's at. God, it's driving me nuts. And then I think that's how Tannehill probably interpreted it, because it wouldn't surprise me if Vrabel had found a way to privately relay those messages without getting in trouble from the union, which I don't know how you can really do.
I don't know.
But I do think that's,
because if it pissed Tannehill off enough.
Vrabel's not stupid, though. But Vrabel does know how to get the message through. And I still think that picture today was, a middle finger F you in the face of Mike Vrabel. Just like, Vrabel, screw you. And
either that
I
or
don't
he
like
doesn't
that.
understand the repercussions of his actions.
I don't like it, but that's what I think it is. That's just me, though. That's just me. 615-737-1025 is our phone number here on the program, 615-737-1025. Coming up next, the Predators' life is so much easier today than it was earlier in the week. They got 2 games this weekend. They're probably favored to lose both of them. But they are so close and maybe even so far at the same time. We'll discuss that next. Stillman and Company right here on ESPN 102.5 The Game. It is Fireball Hot Take Friday. There is no better way to start to celebrate perhaps your team making the playoffs or whatever it may be than with ice-cold Fireball Cinnamon Whiskey. It goes down so smooth and it tastes so great. The weather is so nice. It's time to start getting out and enjoying it. And when you're hanging out with your buddies, make sure you bring the Fireball Cinnamon Whiskey. Everybody likes the guy who's got the Fireball. That's right. Fireball Cinnamon Whiskey goes down so smooth and it tastes so great. Ignite tonight. Please do it responsibly and be 21 years or older to enjoy. That's Fireball Cinnamon Whiskey.
Join ESPN 1025 The Game for the Music City Celebrity Golf Tournament. Benefiting Folds of Honor on May 16th at Hermitage Golf Course. Put your team together and come play with the athletes, musicians, and other local celebrities. The Music City Celebrity Golf Tournament. Sign up at theGameNashville.com/golf.
From the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center.
I'm Fox 17 Code Red meteorologist Greg Bobus. Nothing to complain about this upcoming weekend. Nearly picture perfect. Low temperatures will be in the 50s tonight, and then Saturday and Sunday. Repeat days of high temperatures in the low to middle 80s and unlimited sunshine with a touch of humidity.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Realizing Geico is your one-stop shop for all your insurance needs is like realizing you can just toss the whole measuring cup into the washer, so it won't get gunked up with laundry detergent.
I guess it doesn't work for coffee mugs, huh?
It's something that's been right in front of you this whole time, like how Geico offers 24/7 emergency roadside service to help you when you need it most. Or how athletic wristbands aren't for your wrists, they're for wiping sweat off your forehead.
Great. So, what are headbands for?
80s night at the dance club. Woo!
It's something you can't believe you never realized before, like how Geico makes it easy to bundle your home and car insurance, with even more ways to save when you add boat, motorcycle, and RV insurance. Or how a pony is its own animal and not just a baby horse.
So, what's a baby pony called?
Getting more ways to save. It's just one of the many reasons to switch to Geico. They're all right there in front of you.
What if you could be debt-free in 3 weeks? Hey, Willie Donick here. My friends at Loan Pronto are helping people do it every day. It's Loan Pronto's debt consolidation home refi, wiping out tens of thousands in credit card debt. Listen, your home's value is way up. You can refinance now, take money out to pay off all your credit cards, eliminate PMI charges, pay off personal loans, or other high-interest debt. One local couple had over $50,000 in credit card debt. Loan Pronto did a debt consolidation refi. And even though their mortgage rate went up a tad, they cut their monthly payments by $900. Why pay 20% interest when you can consolidate it to one low payment with a mortgage APR in the threes? Homeowners who do it save an average of $800 a month. Do it now and even skip your next house payment altogether. That's what I call financial freedom. Call Loan Pronto now. 615-499-5780. That's 615-499-5780 or loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166-1781. Subject to lender approval.
Darren McFarland.
And a mulligan that we all look for in golf. Lord knows our game could use it.
Willie Donick.
Outworked and outperformed a lot of other really good players.
Chase McCabe.
I want some sort of trade protection.
Darren, Donick, and Chase have you covered weekdays from 10 to 2 on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
1025 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
You're listening to Stillman and Company. Delivered by TriStar Moving.
How good was it, though, to beat Calgary after what happened on Terry Crisp night?
It was paramount. Never mind the Terry Crisp night or whatever. It was paramount for our team and for their confidence and for what they did after the Blues. And like I said, the 2 points was what we wanted, but I liked the attitude they came back with. I liked the game. Now, I'm looking very interesting tomorrow night to see what kind of an attitude we take onto the ice.
There you go. Crispy on our show yesterday said the win on Tuesday night was a big one for the Predators, and it was. In all seriousness, like, what happened? What happened on Wednesday? Something happened on Wednesday. I wanted to talk about the Predators win. Mm-hmm. Oh, Debo requested the trade, and then the AJ and the
that
video.
Was Wednesday. That was Debo trade. Yeah. But the video, I think, was Thursday.
And so... No, the video was Wednesday.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I wanted to talk all about that Calgary game. We did talk about the Calgary game, but I wanted to talk all about it. We couldn't, and then whatever. They win the game. I was not impressed with the victory. Like, I want everybody to know that. Like, they won, which was the most important thing this time of year, the points, number one thing. They played close, but, Calgary can use excuses in their head, back end of a back-to-back, backup goalie in there. We'll show them next Tuesday if we play them in the playoffs, what's what. But you heard what Crispy said in that clip, which was, I want to see how the attitude they come out with tomorrow night. They play at Tampa tomorrow. They play at home against Minnesota. Minnesota is in. Now, the Predators seem to have their way with Minnesota, and I know the Predators players really want to play Minnesota in the playoffs. Unfortunately, they lost too many games. They will not be granted that possibility. But I think the magic number is 5 points. So any combination of a Vegas loss or 2 Predators wins or a Predators win, 2 Vegas losses or whatever, the Predators would be into the playoffs. They're going to make the playoffs. That I'm not worried about. The race for 4th place, I'm still a little worried about, but Dallas hasn't been great. But these are 2 games against for sure playoff teams that are good. The 2-time defending Cup winners, you play tomorrow night on the road. I care about the attitude. I care about how close that game is. I think the Predators can use this to, A, get themselves into the playoffs. If they can get 3 points out of this weekend, that'd be huge. I'm really only looking for 2, but if they can get 3 points out of these 2 games, it'd be so big. But it's more so the opportunity to kind of turn around the way things are going. The Predators against these really good playoff teams have really, for the most part, gotten their tailpipe smacked in a little bit. And so I'm looking at this game against Tampa, and I'm like, you beat Calgary, and they've convinced themselves that because they beat Calgary, they can play with Calgary. I'm not completely convinced of, but they've convinced themselves of that. And then we'll see next Tuesday. But if you go out there and you say you play close with Tampa and you lose 4-2 on an empty net, and then you turn around and you beat Minnesota on Saturday or Sunday, going into Tuesday night with Calgary, you can really get a lot of confidence going into the playoffs. Because the Predators right now are really lacking the ability to score the puck, but I think they're also lacking like a little confidence in their game going into the playoffs. They've convinced everybody and really themselves that they're a hard team to play against come playoff time. I don't really believe that. I don't think those things matter in the playoffs. In fact, I'm not sure why everybody seemed to get on the bandwagon of thinking that mattered. But as far as this one's concerned, I think they lack some serious confidence. You could feel it with how they played when they went up 2-0 in the Calgary game. Well, if you beat Tampa Bay, you get all that confidence. So, I think they're going to make the playoffs. They can't go 0-2. Though even if they do, they'll still probably make the playoffs. They've got a 97.5% chance, according to Money Puck, of making the playoffs. They're going to make the playoffs. But there's something about just having a little confidence so that at least people around here can be at least a little excited if they do get into the playoffs.
And that's the last thing that you want is going into the playoffs, whether it be Calgary, whether it be Colorado. You're going to be facing a really good team, and it's going to be tough, and it's going to be a crowd.
If it's Colorado, it's over in 5 games.
Okay, but I'm saying either way,
if it's
going to be
if it's
hard.
Colorado, it'll mean, and this goes back to my point about the confidence. If it's Colorado, it will mean that they really backed into the playoffs. It'll mean that Vegas couldn't win.
It'll mean that they got the last wild card spot.
And
yes.
they won one of these games over the weekend, or they went to overtime in this game, and then they won on Thursday, and then Colorado rested everybody, and they got a point, and somehow they get in there, and then Colorado will spank them. They really have to win this, this 4th place spot to play Calgary. That is if you want any excitement at all of maybe doing something in the playoffs. If they get Colorado, it's over. There is no chance.
No, you don't feel great about it. But
No. I'm putting it Chicago 2017. It's a 0% chance.
But we saw how that turned out.
0. No chance of beating the Colorado Avalanche in the first round of the NHL playoffs. So they have to actually go in on a high note into these playoffs. There's no way around it. To me, if they get smacked, and I was thinking about this today, because they came into the season and David Poyle in that press conference used the term competitive rebuild, and I think a lot of people were upset with the ambiguity of what that meant because they didn't really know. But if they make the playoffs, I can already see the arguments coming, just like I can see the arguments on the Tannehill picture of he's on vacation, it's voluntary. Oh, brother. And this is what's going to happen if the Predators get waxed in the playoffs, is there's going to be the argument of the people that say, hey, they traded away Arvidsson, they traded away Ryan Ellis, they talked about competitive rebuild, they didn't expect to compete for the Cup, that's why they got spanked in 5 games against a team that's competing for the Cup. But don't you want a little bit more than that?
Well, the point that I was going to make was whoever you play in the playoffs, it's going to be hard, and a little bit of confidence will really help you going into the playoffs.
Confidence will not help you against Colorado.
It's not going to hurt.
Nope, it will not help you. In fact, it will hurt. You know why it will hurt?
Why?
Because when you don't get your hopes up for something and then it doesn't come true, it's not that bad. But when you get your hopes up for something,
well,
and
winning
then
a
it
few of
doesn't
these
come true-
games doesn't change the fact that Colorado is one of the best teams in the league.
Oh,
I
but
understand
it'll
that.
change the hopes.
But
Confidence will change the hopes. Do not get that confidence up if it's going to get smacked in 5 games in which you're not competitive.
The whole expectation thing. I hear a lot of people saying, well, a few weeks ago, whenever the playoffs was still kind of I don't know. A lot of people said, well, going into this season, they said competitive rebuild. So that leaves a little bit of room that, like, if they don't make the playoffs, it's okay because that was the expectation going into this season. But at what point can your expectations change?
January.
And that's like when the Predators were winning, when they were looking like a playoff team. So don't give me the whole, well, going into the season, these were the expectations. Well, the expectations changed real quick.
Well, I'm gonna tell you
when
the
this
answer
team,
right here.
whenever there was a 40-goal scorer and a Philip Forsberg and a Roman Josi playing out of his mind.
I'm going to give you the answer right now. They're going to say that.
I know, and that's frustrating, and I don't think that's fair. You can say that all day long, but it becomes inaccurate whenever your expectations for the season were completely busted open by the season that a few of these players were having.
I think they got to get that 4th place spot. They got to play Calgary. They got to get a little confidence, but don't get confident if you're going to end up playing Colorado, because then you're just going to get your hopes up. Life is a lot better when your hopes are not up, and then something like that's the problem with the Bengals game. Like, you go back to the Titans, the AFC Championship in 2019, and it was like, oh, hallelujah, yes, because nobody expected it. Then they lose to the Ravens in the first round. Like, the Ravens had a good team.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, the Titans didn't have a great team. Like, you knew there was a chance the Titans had played everybody close, and, they just lose to the Ravens. All right, fine. Then you get number 1 seed, and you play in the crummy Bengals. You get 9 sacks in a game, and you lose. And your hopes are up, and boom, all down they come. So I want to see some confidence this weekend. I want to see them get enough points to comfortably get that 4th place spot. And then I want to see them play the Calgary Flames on Tuesday. And if these next 3 games will tell me all I need to know. If they go into these next 3 games and they just get waxed, then I don't need to see the playoffs. If they go out there and they play Tampa Bay close and they win against Minnesota and they win again against Calgary, then you can convince me, and I'll have to see the games to be able to fully know that. But then you can convince me that they've got a chance in the playoffs.
And I don't have the standings in front of me, but I feel pretty safe in saying that Tampa Bay, Colorado, and Minnesota are comfortably in the playoffs.
Yes.
What version of these teams do you think that we're going to see?
I think they're going to play hard. I think that teams worry. I mean, you got a week after this week. Then you have another week to wait before you play.
Yeah.
So the idea of like, well, we're already in the playoffs, let's rest guys. I think that's always dumb because you have a whole week off anyways. So I wouldn't anticipate that. Colorado, last game of the year, we're probably not going to see Nathan McKinnon or Cale Makar. But again, I just need to see a little confidence this weekend from the Predators. They play tomorrow night, and then they play at home on Sunday. And then they play at home on Tuesday. So just a little confidence. Give us some confidence. They can beat Calgary in a playoff series. That's all I'm looking for. Elijah Campbell, Chris Sanders. They've got the 6 next. I'm sure they'll be reacting to the Tannehill picture seen around the world. That's it for us. We're out of here. Stillman and Company.